They assemble at night, each one having prepared as diligently as possible for the time given to them before the witching hour, the hour of reckoning, the time when they begin outdoor cartoon television. Stray Casts is on the air.
Good evening, glory, hallelujah to you. What the heck's your story and what's going through you? It's Wednesday night and it's time for another edition of Stray Cast. Give it up for yourselves, B.A.S.S Galaxy. Hello. I'm your host, Cal Renwick, and I'm here to have a good time. I don't know about you. And tonight, we got something a little bit different worked up for you. Okay, you're excited. I like it. We have some shining stars of the B.A.S.S Galaxy that we would like to celebrate tonight. So, with that being said, coming in tonight from B.A.S.S, we have some amazing people. First off, Jimmy Sexton from B.A.S.S, Lisa Talmadge from B.A.S.S, Laura Agee, and Kyle Jessie. Give it up for the B.A.S.S crew. And then the local scene with Cal-Sag B.A.S S. We have Brian Jackson, Ryan Whitaker, Duncan Cott Richardson. How's that for a name? We have Dennis Bannock, Eric Bertowski. Who else is coming on? I don't know. It's going to be amazing, and we're stoked about it. It's a free for all Christmas episode. We're getting to know some things about people we might not necessarily get to know. In other words, with that being said, in the festivities on the way, what the heck? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Give it up for the chat board guy, the one and only. It's JR. Rock and Show Fantasy. I see you. You know what that means. You know what that means when JR Rock and Show Fantasy is in the house on the chat board. That means there's good things for you, the B.A.S.S Galaxy. And on tonight's like and share contest, whatever you want to call it, we have some cool stuff going on. First off, the people of B.A.S.S are giving up not one, not two, but 3 limited edition B.A.S.S hats. Yes, valued at over $40 each. They're pretty cool hats. And all you got to do is like and share the live Facebook feed for your chance to win one of these hats. 3 chances there. Now, get this. This is one of 2 Stray Cast Christmas packs. We got one this week and one next week. It's a Stray Cast Christmas extravaganza fun bag. That's right. Like and share the live Facebook feed, and we're going to send you some cool stuff from the Stray Cast archives. So there's 4 prizes tonight. That's nuts. I know. B.A.S.S giving away 3 limited edition ball caps, $40 value each. And we're giving away a Stray Cast Christmas extravaganza fun pouch. Like and share the live Facebook feed. JR going to put it in a randomizer. We're going to call your name live here on the show. Okay. That being said, you know who puts on a show? You know who puts on a show? He's red on the head, just like a producer should be. It's the one and only. He's Andrew Ellenberger, and he's a ginger ninja. Agee.
Feliz
cumpleaños, Navidad.
Yes, sir.
How are you, sir?
Good, and you?
I see you got the Ebenezer Grinch behind you.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
For those listening.
Shocking, right?
How you doing, bud?
Good, and yourself?
Are you Christmas shopping yet?
We're almost done.
Almost done. Okay,
Yeah,
well, I
almost
know of some places you need to still shop. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Ginge, you got any Christmas shopping music for me?
We do. Let's get it.
Listen. Let's go Christmas shopping. It's Pat and Andy going Christmas shopping. You ready? Come on, Andy. First stop, ImpulseLithium.com, right? Hey, we always talk about the 24s, the 36s, you know what I mean? 25, 36. Oh, wait, that's AC/DC. No, but you know what I mean? Volt batteries.
Yep.
Let's talk about the unsung hero of the Impulse line. The 12-volt, Ginge.
Yeah.
The 12-volt, now in stock, 120 amp hours. Worried about charging in the cold? Don't worry. Built-in heater. Worried about a warranty? Don't worry. 10-year. That's it. Impulse Lithium.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like it, Ginge?
I love it. Yep.
I like it. First stop there. We got that off the list. Next stop, OmniaFishing.com, Ginge.
Oh, buddy.
What do you think? I know
Like
you
it.
like Omnia. You got shopping carts.
I do have shopping carts.
You got shopping carts full. Ginge, what's that deal that Omnia has right now where for the techies? You know, the map guys, the electronics guys, where you can do the overlay and it's the Pro Premium pack
The
or whatever.
premium, the Pro Premium is amazing.
Yeah, we gave one of those away a couple weeks ago, and I know the guy
Yep.
that got it loves it. And it's like you can actually overlay maps, and they give you secret, sneaky stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's
a whole network. It's like your own little network. It really is.
Okay, and that's a great Christmas gift for an electronic techie.
Yeah,
right?
and then you get discounts all year too. And you bank up that money for every dollar you spend or whatever it is. You bank it up money, so you're getting paid to shop. So.
Okay, OmniaFishing.com. Take Ginger's word for it. He's frugal, in case you can't tell. He's a frugal Christmas shopper, and he's not shy about buying that one. Hey, Ginge, be careful. Don't run with scissors, and don't run with WhiteRiverKnives.com. Don't do it. They're sharp AF, Ginge.
Very.
They're sharp AF. My favorite is the M1 capper, and that's my everyday carry, the M1 capper. And I know you've been on that little hunter. You like that hunter.
That little hunter and the fillet, because we've been searching. So.
And you've been putting to work with the perches. Percher in. Yeah. All right, there it is. WhiteRiverKnives.com /stray. See how I did that, Ginge?
Yeah.
It's Christmas shopping done. Oh, wait. One more thing on the list for the crazy Funkle in the family. You know what I mean? Let's bring in the Jim.
I've not heard from him. He's missing.
Oh, is he MIA?
Yeah, I don't know where he's at. He might be.
Wait, is he at a Christmas party?
I don't know, but
so I have to come up with my own tin cup whiskey word of the week.
You definitely do, yeah.
What in the heck kind of boss is he? He's really working me this week.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do it, Ginge. Give me some tin cup whiskey music now. There it is. All right. Hey, it's time for the Tin Cup Whiskey Word of the Week. In case you don't know, or it's the first time tuning in, every week here on the Stray Cast Show, we give you a Tin Cup Whiskey Word of the Week. And whenever you hear that word, you take a little sippy, McSippy. And it could be anything. It could be an ice cold Coca-Cola. It could be a warm cafe con leche, like I have right here. It could be a Mountain Spring Tin Cup Whiskey, the official brown liquor of B.A.S.S, by the way. And tonight's magic word, magic. I've been looking at Pedro's Magic Rock. That's why I said magic word. Tonight's Tin Cup Whiskey word of the week is B.A.S.
B.A.S, yeah.
Yeah, let's and you know what? Because Foley didn't show up, any of you, when you hear the word B.A.S, take a sip, whatever it is, and if you're sipping the liquor, sip responsibly. But here's the deal. Foley's calling you off work if you need to. I don't care.
Put his phone number up.
Yeah, put his phone number on the screen. If you're feeling like it, he's going to call you up as your fun Funkle, and you don't got to go to work tomorrow. Start Christmas early. Compliments a Tin Cup Mountain Whiskey. Ginge, I think we knocked it OTP. In the business, that means out of the park.
Right.
Yeah. And you know what we should do? I like pleasure, Ginge. And I think I'm going to power pole it down right now for some pleasure. And when we get back, it's the Shining Stars from Ray Scott's Dream Bass Anglers Sportsman Society. Don't go anywhere. Coming right back.
There's a moment when you're faced with a challenge, and just solving the problem isn't good enough, even if that means breaking the rules and shredding apart conventional ways of thinking, all in the name of creating something truly remarkable. With this much control at its command, we didn't stop with just one. We created two incredible trolling motors. Introducing the new Power Pole Move brushless trolling motor.
This is the mountain, and this is mountain whiskey. Unspoiled, untamed, forever wild. There's no safety net, no way down. Up here, it's just man, and the mountain, and his tin cup. Tin Cup Whiskey. Mountain whiskey.
Want to know the difference between power bait and other soft plastics? Ask the fish. Berkeley scientists have thousands of flavors tested on thousands of fish. Natural, man-made. Every bait that's ever hit the water. No matter the shape, size, or color, power bait is the only one that is scientifically proven. Fish bite and will not let go.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, buddy.
Realize your boat's potential with outboard performance accessories that improve the handling, speed, and economy of your boat. Find your perfect accessory from Bob's Machine.
Welcome back. Welcome back. This is the glorified version of a Bass and Talk Show. I'm your host, Pat Renwick. And let's get it going. Are we good, Ginge?
Yeah, we're good to go.
Hey, okay, here it is. Let's bring on some shining stars from B.A.S.S. I see them popping in. Yes, there they are. They're brightening up the Bass Galaxy. Give it up for them right now. It's Jim Sexton, it's Kyle Jessie, it's Laura, Agee, and Lisa Talmadge. Yes. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. I'm excited. Can you all tell?
Oh, yeah.
Are you ever not excited?
I don't know. I'm very excitable. And I've been watching a lot of Buddy the Elf lately, so I'm extra excited. I gotta be honest. Tell you, I'm feeling real Christmassy already. I don't know why. I've been cooped in the house. I've been fighting the LMBV, and I don't know. But I'm doing okay. Doing okay now. But I've been watching a lot of TV.
LMBV.
Largemouth bass virus. Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
I think
For those in the know, you know what I mean.
you only get that by kissing bass.
Well, I like Jimmy Houston a lot, but I don't kiss bass. But hey, it's great to have you here, all of you, and it's pretty cool. All of you are first timers on the Stray Cast show, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Correct.
Glad to be here.
yeah, and I'm telling you, it's a long time coming, and we've had your other coworkers on the show before and featured some of them, and that's something we'll be doing in upcoming episodes in 24. But we thought right now we wanted to celebrate the four of you, and there's a method to the madness. First off, may we celebrate the one and only, and I think the other three of you will allow me to go first here with this gentleman. It's usually ladies first, but we are going age before beauty. The one and only Jimmy Sexton. Jim, it's good to have you here, bud.
Appropriate, thank you.
It's good to have you here. Now, you, as the kids say, are cool AF. And first off, we are saddened to hear of your retirement. I'm just gonna be honest about it. You have a countdown going now. I think you had your office party today, so now you're allowed to drink at work every day until your last day. So have a dang good time. Chase said it's fine. Do whatever you want, Jim. You're
no
retired.
dress code.
Yeah, no nothing. Just wear pants. Pants are the only requirement, Jim.
That might not be a good look for me, but
yes.
I'll think about it.
But congratulations on your retirement. I love how you told me that you're just ready to do nothing, and I admire that. That's my life right now. So I admire that about you. So, thank you for your service to the blue and gold.
It's been a awesome ride. I've just loved it. Feel blessed and lucky all at the same time.
Yeah, man. And I say service to the blue and gold because this organization here, Ray Scott's Dream, is very important to all of the viewers right now in the Bass Galaxy, and I know especially the four of you. And there's a few things I want to thank you for personally, Jim, that a lot of people may not know that you have done. First off, I know you worked diligently, hours on end to convert or bring over the footage from ESPN to the new format. All those videos, all that stuff we love so much.
Yep. And
now have at our access via Bassmaster, you brought over from ESPN. That's a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
You see how he said that, coworkers. But no, hey, it's fun for us, Jim. Thank you for that. Thank you.
No, and it's like important to the history.
100%.
You owe it to everybody to really keep all that stuff.
But here's another thing. When remember in 2019 when we had a bunch of fleeing, people were jumping ship, and I mean jumping ship. They left us. They left us, Jim.
Yeah.
All right. And it's serious business. Some of them come back and are now making amends, and that's fine. But a lot of them left us. But here's what a lot of people don't know. You helped keep things together, Jim. At that crucial time in B.A.S.S.
One of many.
There, like doing it amongst others, but you were there in the battlefield, dude, picking up slack.
Yep.
As Fisher people like to say. And thank you for that. A lot of people don't know the role you played in that during the fleet.
It was that was a crazy time, and again, man, we just worked on being the best bass we could be. You know, it wasn't like we did a lot of crazy things, invented all kinds of new stuff. It was like, let's just work on being a better bass, and let's be classy about it. Let's not call names of people who left and those kind of things. Let's just focus on our business. That's
and you went positive, and you're part of that. And that's the whole point of this. You went in that positive direction. And let me back up. I'd be amiss. Your title is what? Digital VP.
Chief cook and bottle washer of the website.
And Kyle's laundry getter.
That's right. Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. But see, that role that you played, not the bottle washer, but digital VP, was crucial to the media to show the positive side of bass fishing and move on in a positive light. And you were very influential in that. And thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome, man. It was so much. It was a hard time, but it was a lot of fun. And those new guys who came in, boy, I wasn't involved in picking who came in. We got some guys that came straight from FLW. Some controversy
in Canada.
That. Yeah. There was some controversy about that because they didn't qualify.
They're fine.
The way, but boy, you look back on that now, and those guys that came in via that invite from the FLW, boy,
happened for a reason. That's it. Everything happens for a reason. Jerry McInnes once told me.
Yeah.
But Jim, thank you for that. The next thing is, you're an amazing fluffer, and thank you for being a great fluffer. And what I mean by that is you make people look good. You getting text? You need to go, Jim? Are you busy? You got to do something?
No, we're all good.
You're on a talk show, kid. I mean, you're retiring and you got a free pass and all, but
just more requests for fluffing. So maybe I'll put my earphones in.
No, it's fine, and I'm messing with you. But what I mean by fluffing is you fix stuff. So let's say that somebody writes an article, and many times I've written emails, and you say, "Pat, I'm going to fix this up for you. You look dumb." Well, thanks. And I mean, you do that for lots of people, and I thank you for that.
Yeah,
and I'm sure many do. Last accolades I'm giving you here is thank you, or not last, but you know what I mean. We're going to move on to something else, but thank you for hiring the Bass and Angel, Ronnie Moore. I mean, he just touches everybody's heart. Without Ronnie, the Bass Galaxy would not flow. So thank you and I know amongst many others, including the guy up above you on my screen, you brought him in too. But thanks for Ronnie.
Can I tell you my strategy of hiring?
Please. Yes, I want to learn.
Well, it's kind of a two-part thing. One, it helps to be desperate. All right, so you're just like, holy cow!
That's what Matt Robertson always tells me.
In the case of Ronnie, with Ronnie, it was like February of like 2013, and I didn't have anybody to run Bass Track.
Okay,
and so somebody had told me Ronnie's name and gave me his phone number, and I called the dude and I said, "Hey man, I hear great things about you. I know you're like a sophomore in college, but junior in college, but can you come work at the Bassmaster Classic in Tulsa in like 3 weeks?" And Ronnie said, there's like silence. And then he said, "Oh my gosh, this is the best day of my life."
That sounds Ronnie. It sounds right. He was at your house before you hung the phone up somehow or another. He was
practically. Practically.
Where'd he go?
And the dude traveled for us as a college student for 2 or 3 years doing his schoolwork, but also doing practically full-time bass. And, you just knew he had the passion.
He's a unicorn, that kid.
Yeah, he can do everything.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. So thank you for that, sincerely, too. You hire great people at B.A.S.S. is my point, amongst Kyle, Jessie, and other.
That's right.
On the panel tonight.
Yeah.
There's got to be some truth to Jim's retirement plan, because to this point he hasn't laid an egg as far as hiring anybody goes. But the more time goes along, like eventually he's bound to hire somebody that's just not the guy.
Oh, he's got a plan. We'll get to that. Don't worry. Listen to that laugh. That was a little sinister. Did you hear that, coworkers? All right, so here, one of my jobs, Jimmy, is a bass fishing talk show host, is I have to do research and development. I do basically stalk you on the internet is what I do.
Okay.
And I find out things about my guests that way. And Kyle knows he's a talk show host too. Laura used to be a talk show host. She went on to better things. And Lisa knows she has to constantly do homework, keep up on the things. But anyway, Jim, I found out a couple things about you, and I got to talk to you about this. So you used to travel around the country and do science tricks? at grade schools? Wait, what is that? So like,
Well,
here's Mr. Science, and
yeah.
it's Jim comes in with a briefcase full of science. Well, I mean, what was this?
I mean, I had a panel van full of science.
Wow,
and,
this sounds a little creepy. I'm not going to kid you.
And the first year, this is my first job out of college. My first year, I started in Hammond, Indiana.
That's where I live.
I know.
I happen to live right here, and I'm here right now.
And maybe
I can
you
throw
were
a rock to Chicago, but I'm right
maybe
here.
you were in one of those schools.
I probably was. But that was the kid that was in the corner in the back of the class.
Yeah. So
I know
it was I had like a dinosaur that would blow up, and I would talk to the dinosaur about how fossil fuels were made. Had liquid had liquid nitrogen. I would put stuff in it, and
now that's fun.
Oh man, I learned a trick from a science teacher. We'd put a saltine cracker into the boiling liquid nitrogen.
Andy, write this down.
Yeah, and then I'd throw it in my mouth, and I could breathe a stream of fog out of my nose.
Dude, like a dragon.
It
like
was,
Jimmy the Dragon.
The kids would go nuts.
That was your closer.
Oh,
like Jimmy's blowing Jimmy's blowing smoke.
It was big.
Hey, it's Emily Harley. She says she loves this episode so far, and she misses us. We love you too, Emily, and we're sad that you retired too. We'll get to you eventually. You know that. Hey, Jim, blowing smoke like a dragon.
Yeah.
Did you scare any kids with that?
You
never make them cry?
I would, with the bowl of liquid nitrogen, I would throw it at the audience, and they would freak out, like crazy. But it would evaporate before it hit anybody.
Can you do some of these tricks at an office party before you retire? I think that's appropriate.
I mean, I've got time now, so I'll offer it for the classic, maybe a warm-up act for Mercer and so forth.
He'll roll in the arena with a van.
Yeah.
Yes, Lisa.
He wouldn't get through security. No way.
No, run it by Mercer. He's going to love this. Lisa,
Yeah.
you guys know it's perfect.
Yeah, it was a panel van with no windows.
Panel van, nitrogen in a Coliseum, lots of nitrogen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the making for the perfect Christmas movie.
So the second year
Bruce
was in New York City. So I did schools in Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, Staten Island, none in Manhattan. They were too high end.
Yeah, that's bougie.
But it was a wild ride.
Yeah, man. I mean, I thought that was pretty interesting, man.
Yeah, it's been translated to several people. The rumor started that I was in the circus, but that's not true.
Okay, it's close, but
I was a one-man show promoting science,
promoting
science to America's youth.
Was there anything on the side of the van, like?
Oh yeah, it said I can't remember the name of the show. It was like Scientific America or something.
Wow, it's like a wrapped van just cruising around.
Oh yeah,
pulling into Stuckies across America.
Yep.
Yeah, I see you. I see you. Hey, you were a movie bootlegger too. Like you used to run movies across state lines. Like you were bootlegging like Gator McCluskey.
It was all part of that's false. It was all in the state of Tennessee.
Oh,
but I went from Knoxville to Memphis once a week.
That's a truck. That's like 10-hour drive, dude.
It was a haul. And I got paid the giant sum of $200 a trip.
Wow. Well, you were balling.
Yeah.
Back in 42, that's a lot of money. We're the same age, Jim.
True.
How old are you, Jim? 65. Oh, okay. Well, I'm only 50 something.
Oh, yeah. We're not the same age, Pat.
No, but let's pretend we are just for the purpose of this broadcast.
Like you're a different generation.
Yeah, I'm talking about my generation right now.
Yeah.
What's your generation called?
Boomers.
Boomers? I think I'm an Xer.
Okay.
Is that what I am? Is that what I am?
You're not a boomer. We kicked
not
you
a
out.
boomer. Boomer's our boss at Alpha Angler, Jake Boomer, Brandon Talmadge's company. You know him. Anyway, see, we do little plugs and stuff. It's how you do stuff in talk shows, Jim, as you roll around. But here, so you were going from Knoxville to Memphis, or Memphis to Knoxville?
I started in Knoxville,
and
I
running.
I would drop off a TV show of the Johnny Majors show, the football coach at the University of Tennessee.
Yeah, of course.
The game would be like Saturday night. I would get the tape at like midnight, and I had to be in Memphis by 8 the next morning so they could watch the Johnny Majors show on TV. But I had to stop in Nashville, Jackson, and Memphis.
Wow. That's pretty cool, isn't it, Kyle?
Very cool. He's told me that story as well, and I thought that was the coolest college job ever.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to make a few bucks. You cram in the hours and you're getting paid and then doing nothing again, like Jimmy likes to do.
Yeah, that was my first media job.
Nice. I mean, and then that kind of opened the door, I guess,
it did.
so to speak.
Yeah.
To being a science guy and a panel man.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a career blip there, the science man.
But then you worked for Time Communications too, right?
Yep, Time Inc.
I mean, that's big time, dude. I mean, like huge, like for a guy in media, in communications and digital whatever. I mean, come on, bud. Time? That's big.
Yeah.
Laura, that's huge.
Thank you.
Huge. And then you ended up at B.A.S.S.
Yeah. I was laid off by Time, just, to add to that story, along with like 300 other people. But and that was the year that B.A.S.S. moved to Birmingham. I was in the Birmingham office of Time Inc., which has Southern Living and Cooking Light and travel magazines and things like that. I was managing those websites, and I was like, I can't move. My kids are like in 4th grade and freshmen in high school. I can't move. And B.A.S.S. moved to Birmingham.
Wow. Dude, see, it's amazing. Like, and so this is we're going to come up on the 9th season of Stray Cast. And in season 2, Jerry McInnes told us, Pat, in bass fishing and in life, everything happens for a reason. Very simple elementary logic, but so true every time. Everything happens for a reason. Hey, B.A.S.S. moved to Birmingham. Here comes Jim Saxton making history. Pretty cool.
I told the folks at my lunch today, B.A.S.S. I mean, I've worked for 44 years, like 6 different companies, 12 and a half years at B.A.S.S. And B.A.S.S. is my best job, my favorite job, and also the hardest. And the hard comes from, we've got 50 tournaments a year.
Yeah.
And some of us, most of the people on this show, we're involved in all of them. And
you sure are.
We're working on weekends, nights, all that kind of stuff. But I say best and hardest, and really those two go together, Pat, because when you're challenged and you really got to step up and you got to figure it out, that's very gratifying. And so, hardest becomes best in a lot of ways.
Yeah. It makes you better. That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, all kidding aside, you don't get better sitting around doing nothing, do you?
Exactly.
You're better at thinking, maybe. That's about it.
Right. I mean, I am planning on catching up on a lot of TV shows soon.
Yeah. I'll send you a good list, Jim.
Thank you.
Yeah. I've been watching TV. Hey, in your eyes, what has been your biggest contribution to the blue and gold in your years?
That's a fun question. I'm going to just go with a couple things. 2, you'll allow me that?
Yeah. Whatever.
We made Bass Track had been started by ESPN, but it was a very basic kind of deal. And we took on the challenge, and I'll give Chris Mitchell a lot of credit here.
Yeah.
We took on the challenge of making it better every year. And our philosophy was, hey, this is the page people love. We keep making it better. They're going to love it more. So we made it better and better and better, more interactive, more features. You can look at every single fish that's caught, the times they were caught. You can click through to lots of information. You got videos on each guy. It became kind of the page where people follow the tournament during the day. And you can even watch the live show on that page. So that was a good contribution.
Heck yeah, bud. We love the Bass Track. Thank you. Thank you for that.
The other is really just when I started Bassmaster website, it was part of ESPN, like a category. It was not a 7-day-a-week operation. They published only during the week.
Okay.
All right. That doesn't work in sports. That doesn't work in the internet anymore.
No.
I mean, on any topic, you
Gotta
got
be
to be publishing all the time. So we kind of immediately went to 7 days a week. We published every frickin' day, and we had new content every frickin' day. And we've done that for 12 and a half years. And people like Kyle and a host of others do most of that work. But they're getting up on Saturday morning and Sunday morning and putting something up because the internet and bass fans.
We want it. Bass fishing fans want it. That's why.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Jim Sexton.
They're insatiable. So
Laura, your cat's going nuts.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Oh, that's good to see.
It's nature.
That's good to see.
I'm observing nature.
So the daily, just the consistency of being daily, I think has been huge for the sport, huge for the Bassmaster brand, and I think huge for the anglers as well.
Yeah, dude. I mean, big deal. I didn't look at that really, and that's a huge deal. I see Kyle just keep nodding, up there. Yeah, yeah, because it is
for sure. I mean, I'll add to that. I've said this so many times, throughout conversations over the years, but like for me personally, I'm a consumer of Bassmaster.com. Like if I didn't work for Bass, I can't tell you because I was roaming on Bassmaster.com through college.
Me too. Since I was 6.
Every single day too. So, it really does make a difference because I know what I would feel as a consumer if I got up and things had been the same for 3 days, but it doesn't do that. And like Jim said, sometimes that's not always the most fun or convenient to have to sit down and figure that out. Or, Phil does a ton of that. He deserves a lot of credit. Phil Lawless.
Yeah.
But, people want new stuff to look at. And like I said, that's how I always was. So it makes it worth it for sure.
You should actually have Phil on, Phil Lawless. He's probably...
It's an amazing name.
Yeah, right? It's a good
Admire
start.
it.
I'll tell you another thing. He's a metalhead.
Oh, I like that too about him. We could do metal streams together.
And he doesn't talk, which could be a problem for your show. But
I'll get it out.
I think you could get him going. And but Phil is the straw that stirs the drink in our world. He
hats off to Phil Lawless.
Keeps it going. And as part of that, we started publishing daily in social, and Laura's taken that over and taking it to the next level. So it just keeps going.
Yeah, bud. And thanks for that. So to backtrack a few mementos here, before we talked about up your sleeve for some more hiring. All right. Now, I don't know who will actually hire your replacement or how that will go, or if you will have a say in any of that or anything. But my question to you, Jim, is whoever's going to do that, the powers that be or you, what is a quality of yours that you hope that the new hire has as well? The new hire for your position, a quality of yours, Jim Sexton.
I think the most important thing is to get to know the audience.
Whoa.
You got to know who you're talking to, right?
Yeah, bud.
And I found the best way to, because I had fished plenty coming into bass, but I hadn't been to one single bass fishing tournament in my life. All right, I felt like I knew a lot, but turns out I really didn't. And but meeting people that are in the audience, and that includes people like you, Pat, super fans in a way.
I am. I ain't gonna lie.
People who love the sport, get to know those folks. And going to tournaments is a great way because you meet all kinds of people. But meeting the anglers, getting to know them, they started as fans. They're part of the audience for us too. And I think getting to know that audience is job number one.
Nice. And again, well said. And I read our friend Steve Bowman said about you that you knew how to tell a story, and he felt that you're going to be perfect to tell the bass fishing fans out there the bass fishing story. And I thought that was simply said and beautifully said when he said, you were perfect for that job. Your replacement better be good.
I like telling stories. Bowman, and really the bass fishing world, I mean, it's just an explosion of stories. And we don't tell them all. But I mean, last weekend, a 17-year-old kid made the Classic.
I know. Isn't that wild? Youngest ever?
That's amazing.
Yikes.
This fall, Easton Fothergill won the College Classic bracket like a few weeks after.
Yeah, Seth and I talked to him not too long ago. Yeah.
Brandon Card this year on the Elite Series has this horrible health issue where he can barely see, and the dude competes anyway.
He smashed him on the first few minutes.
He can't.
Wow, way to go, Card.
He can't blink one of his eyes, so he has to wear a patch because his eye gets so dry. And the dude, he fishes every tournament in the Elite Series, and he comes in 25th in AOY.
Yeah.
He has like a better year than he's had, in a while.
Amazing.
And so the number of those are some big stories. Those are great big stories. But I'll tell you one more.
Okay.
There's a guy that died about 10 days ago.
Oh, yeah.
His name was James.
Person.
There you go. Lisa knows him. He was a marshal at the Classic for 25. He was a Classic marshal for 25 years.
Wow.
All right.
Oh,
super unassuming dude.
Family.
Super, just like a superstar in a super quiet way. But he got 1 week of vacation a year, and he went to the Classic and worked in it.
That's the power of this fish.
Anyway, the stories are just there's just so many. One shout out to Bowman. He was so important in my development at Bass. He and I mean, we didn't make a pact, but we started working as a team.
Can we pretend you did make a pact, like with a pocket knife, and you guys both cut your thumb and then shook on it just for the purpose of this podcast?
Yes.
Thank you.
It's fair. Actually, that'd be very appropriate.
Okay. I can see it. I know Lisa can.
We were in a duck blind and sliced each other's hands.
Yes. Now it's getting real.
And that was the start. But we worked at every elite tournament covering on the water. Bowman was the photographer and I was the writer. And so in the course of that, for those
like Jagger Richards.
Yeah, totally. In the course of that, those of you who know Bowman, he's a font of many, 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 many thoughts.
Wow, font.
Thoughts. Yeah, that he likes to share. And he shared very freely with me about the fishing industry, about the history of bass, about the history of Jerry McInnes, about every aspect of the sport. And when you're in a boat together for 8-9 hours a day for 100 days of the year, there's a lot of wisdom to be shared, and I loved it. I loved it. It was just great, and it sped up my learning curve. Like, phew. And without that, it would have been a much slower path for me to understand the sport.
Yeah, Bowman's an enforcer. I could see him taking you under his wing. That's for sure.
I did not get sideways. Well, I didn't get sideways with him much.
Yeah,
much.
Every once in a while.
You didn't get lippy. You didn't get lippy with him.
The funny thing is, I'm kind of his boss.
Whoa.
But I mean, partially. He works at JM, so Mike is really his boss. But in terms of covering tournaments, I'm more or less his boss. However, on an average day, I couldn't tell you whether I was his boss or he was mine, because he told me what I should be doing.
Wow.
Times.
Yeah, he ain't shy.
And that didn't bother me a bit.
Hey, you're gonna be missed, bud.
Thank you. I'm gonna miss it.
Kind of sucks.
And I'm gonna mostly miss the people. People on this show, and the fans, and the sponsors that you become friends with, and the anglers you become friends with. It's a unique sport where think of another professional sport where you have that kind of access to the competitors.
Well, you still have all the passwords. Just write random articles and stuff.
I mean, I got an inside source with Kyle. I mean, I ought to be able to get
he got keys.
On the website or on social media with Laura. I was hoping they don't get in trouble.
Hey, Jim, thank you. Hey, Jim, what's your favorite thing about Lisa? What's your favorite thing about her?
You know, I'm going to say that I think Lisa is fearless.
Whoa, I get it.
I mean, she has, in her soft-spoken, calm way, she came into being the tournament director for the Elite Series and kicked ass. And I mean, like she was respected very quickly by the anglers. You know, there was a period of time where they were kind of deciding. She was kind of like, I don't know, maybe we would call it an interim kind of thing, or it was not quite 100% set. And I remember that, you know, when the anglers had a say, they said, "Hey, we want her."
Oh.
And I think it takes a lot to get up on that stage and do what she does, and particularly to be the first woman to do it in a very male-dominated sport. She just made it happen and made it seamless, and handled a lot of things behind the scenes that nobody knows about that are hard and challenging. So fearless is my word for Lisa.
Great. That's amazing. And Lisa, get this, like, and I mean this most respectfully, like growing up, there was always a mom on the block, whether it was your own mom or a friend's mom or something that you just didn't mess with. And I get that vibe from you. I would never mess with you, Lisa. And I feel most like if I was ever in a bar fight and we were together, come on, you and me are going. Let's go, Lisa. We're on the same team. You know what I mean?
Right. They say watch out for the quiet one. So
yeah. Yeah. I mean, here's the deal. You got a phone call, and in life, phone calls can be so important. Bearing good news, bearing bad news, just phone calls. But listen to this. Jimmy talked about his phone call he got, right? And B.A.S.S is staying in Birmingham and all that good stuff. And hey, we've heard Mark Zona on the show tell us how he hung up on B.A.S.S because he thought it was a joke when they called him for a job. Mercer told us about the time Jerry McInnes called and he ended up going into the office and pretending he could speak Japanese to Jerry McInnes and got a job. And you got a phone call from Tripp. And that changed your life, Lisa.
It did.
And
I thank him every day for that phone call.
Yeah, Tripp Weldon called you up. And how'd that phone call go? Tell me how that phone call went.
He just called and said, "We want you to come back to B.A.S." Because I had worked for B.A.S before, you know, I started
for the weekend series, right? Like Agee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember.
And then I did some tournament contract work, and then I left for a full-time job with Shimano. And so at that time there were, you know, I wanted a full-time job with B.A.S, but there was no full-time positions. And so I needed one. And so Shimano hired me. And then 3 years later, Chuck retired. And so Tripp called me and he says, "We want you back. And I want you to help me with the elites. I want you to come back as a manager."
Yes.
And so I was like, sign me up.
See you soon.
Where were you living at that point, Lisa?
I was living here in Alabama.
Okay. Because I remember you grew up in like New Mexico.
Yes. So
nice.
I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So when I was first hired by B.A.S in 2004, I moved to Montgomery, and then we moved to Celebration. And then the weekend series was licensed out to another tournament organization. And so I continued with them.
And ended up here.
Yes.
Alabama. Turn it up. Hey, you got a tough job. I mean, come on. It's like you have to deal with the fact, first off, you're in the forefront. Okay. You're in front and center on that stage, you and Dave. But you're the one that the anglers might potentially have a problem with. And you know what I mean? Like, okay, I see it on the local level. Weigh those fish again. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of that on B.A.S.S, but I don't agree with this decision. You're kidding me. We could drive a boat in this. What are you talking about, Lisa? Come on. I mean, that's hard work.
You just have to make the best decisions for the group and follow the rules that are right there in front of us.
Yeah, cut and try. I come from the south side of Chicago, and I've been beat up a lot in my life, and I also have won a lot of fights too, Lisa. And I think it's thickened me up. It's thickened my skin. And I think that's crucial to be successful in bass fishing.
You also you do have to have thick skin, and sometimes you do take things personal, but you just have to separate that, and it's not personal. It's business.
Has anyone ever do you think anybody's ever tried to bully you? Any of the anglers? Have they ever kind of because of a decision maybe you've made or something you've done?
Sure.
I know it's happened to many tournament directors. That happens?
It has. Yes, it has.
So I'm not asking for a name, but give an example of how an angler might bully you.
If I say, I'm trying to think of a situation where it happened. I guess if I say this is the decision, and they speak up a little bit louder and say, "Are you serious? You're going to go with this decision?" Something like that. I guess.
Do you and then you're just pretty much yeah. That's what we have to do. It's
the other part of it. The other part of it that's unique to this era is some of those people who are unhappy with a decision will go on social media and rail on and not necessarily make it personal to the tournament director, but just blast off about it.
Yeah, and I see it the most on the decisions to not go out in the morning because of weather. Because us bass fishermen, and especially Elite Series anglers, they're crazy. And they're gonna go out. If you didn't because you're the tough mommy on the block. So if you didn't put your foot down and say, "Listen, boys, go back to bed. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow," they'd be out there revving their engines.
Right.
Let's shotgun start it, Lisa. Come on.
They're competitors, so they're gonna go, and so I have to protect them from themselves.
Is that the hardest part of your job, protecting the anglers from themselves?
I used to think it was hard to make those decisions, but as time goes by, it's not, because I know I'm doing the right thing. Even if the weather doesn't produce like it says, I'm making the best decisions to save their lives. Just in case there's something, something bad happens. And I try to work with the local weather channels, just to get the information that I can, and use it to my best ability if I'm going to cancel or not, because we don't want to cancel. That's the last thing we want to do. Everyone on this panel knows that it's way more work to cancel a turn a day than to just go. That's the last thing we want to do.
And your decision, they've pretty much been right on. I may give you that, Lisa. In the long run, no matter what anybody says, you've made the right decision just about every time, I believe. So on whatever that means from a bass fishing fan's point of view. I don't know if the elite anglers would agree, but from a fan's point of view, we don't want our guys hurt. You know what I mean? We want chunking and winding. So
there might have been one day, I think it was at Champlain, that it said it was going to be worse than it was. But I think every other time, I think was the right decision.
And As long as you're batting 900, you're doing all right, I guess.
Right.
What's the most satisfying part of being a tournament director?
Handing off a trophy to the winner. I love
Wow.
that.
Okay.
I love it.
That's a pretty.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
You're
It
handing
is.
off old blue. Like, it's almost like being knighted.
Yeah, it's such an awesome feeling to all of us here. We're with the anglers. We experience the highs and lows with them. We feel it. We do all this work for the event, and then just to hand off that trophy for the finality of it. It's just, it's such an awesome feeling. I love it.
Who was your first trophy you handed? Who'd you hand the first trophy off to? You remember?
My first trophy I handed off was Jamie Hartman.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and that was back when Tripp's wife, she fell and hurt her knee, and he had to leave a tournament. I think that was in 2019 in New York.
Yeah, New York Derby. Yep.
Yes, and so I handed it off. But a lot of people don't know. Years back, I can't remember where we were in Arkansas when Jason Christie won, and I actually got to weigh fish. I don't remember what year that was. Maybe like 2007 or something. I don't, maybe a long further off, maybe 2013. I can't remember, but
it goes 14
decades ago.
14.
See, Kyle knows.
Yeah,
he hangs out with Ronnie.
It just happens to be my favorite Bassmaster tournament of all time. That's not a classic, so I'm familiar with that one.
Which one is it again? Please say it again.
It was in Arkansas. What was the
Dardanelle? It was Lake Dardanelle, and it was Christie and Hackney on the last day, like going pound for pound against each other. It was just like the most picture perfect event as far as
a couple of badasses just swing.
Sure.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, and I didn't expect it. And Tripp asked me the day before, he was having some arthritis issues, and asked me to weigh fish, and I was like, oh my God.
Tripp loves you. That's awesome. That's so awesome that he likes you so much and gave you an amazing job. When you were a little girl, like you would have never thought like 10-year-old Lisa was going to be weighing basses. You know what I mean?
No, who knew? My plan was to be a teacher. That's what I did. I mean, I went to school to be a teacher, and I taught 1st, 2nd, and 5th grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
And no wonder you're tough.
It's so funny. The Bruce Mathis that interviewed me, he said I would be perfect for the job. He said, just look at the anglers like they're 5th graders.
They're all your kids. In essence, they really are.
So I always say I have 103 kids.
Yeah, a bunch of 10-year-olds running around. Hey, but check this out. Like they really are all your kids. And like one of the rules of being a parent is you're not supposed to pick a favorite kid. You know what I mean? You might have one, but you really don't say, like, you know what I mean? But so what I'm going to ask you is tell me an angler that you just look forward to coming up to that stage every time. Who's one of those anglers that you look forward to coming up?
Forward?
Yeah, you look forward to him. You're like, oh, cool. Here's this guy.
So there's a few that they're so happy all the time that it's like exudes, and it just makes
I do know what you mean. Yeah.
And so I look forward to when Gussie comes up because he's always smiling no matter what. And so then it puts a smile on my face.
Johnny Cox is the same way, if I may interject.
Yes.
Smiling Johnny, the handyman, is always smiling.
Yes.
It's like Kyle Jessie.
And then there are some you just look at and then you smile just because they're so mad. That mad look.
They're so mad about their days.
Even though if they have a good bag, they still have that mad look, like it still wasn't good enough or something. But
they're never satisfied.
I just get a kick out of it. I love weighing all their fish, and just you start to learn their mannerisms and stuff when they come on stage, and it's good stuff.
I am going to speak for myself as a mega bass fishing fan of the blue and gold that you are my favorite tournament director, weighmaster. I like that you're there. It makes me
Thanks,
feel
Bat.
good that you're there.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I think-
appreciate that.
Yeah. I think Bass needed a little motherly love, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And we're glad we got it. The combination of you and Mercer up there is great. Dave is the best MC of all time, and you are the best weighmaster. Or what would be the official like how should you be? What is it? How are you addressed? Tournament director? Is Dave the weighmaster or are you the weigh? I'm confused.
So he's the MC. I'm the
MC.
weighmaster.
You're the
but
weighmaster.
my
Dave's the master of
title
ceremonies.
is
Okay.
Tournament director.
Tournament director.
Saying Waymaster sounds so cool to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like it.
it's
Yeah,
it's
just
very
sounds fun.
medieval. It's very
It's a big responsibility. People don't realize that it's a big responsibility. Just because there's so much money on the line. So you're just making sure that those scales read exactly the same for every angler when you tear. You tear the bag, and
Yeah.
you just make sure it's always the same.
How much does a B.A.S.S scale cost? Retail on it and the brand you use?
I'm gonna say they're like $5,000.
Wow. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That ain't no stocking stuffer, Lisa.
And how many do we have?
Right now we have 5. We have 5, and I think we're getting some more.
Right, you gotta have backups. You never know if the transducer is gonna go out on it, Jim.
Yeah, and there's multiple tournaments on the same weekend at times. So
Right,
that's,
right,
Running derbs.
Yeah.
Running derbs cross the nation. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Hey, it's ladies' night on Stray Cast. And with that being said, Lisa, I gotta ask you. I know you get to spend some time on the road and y'all are traveling together. So I'm gonna go back like I did with Jimmy. I'm gonna ask you, Lisa, what's your favorite thing about Laura? What do you like about Laura over there?
Why
Well,
does this feel
what
like
I-
an episode of Brady Bunch? Like the intro to the Brady Bunch to me.
It
It's
is.
all weird.
Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. Here's a story of a girl named Laura.
Stop.
What's your favorite thing about Laura, Lisa?
Well, I think it's amazing that she can come in and push out content on social media like she does every day. I mean, because you got to come up with, something every day to push out. And so I think
Every
that's
day.
amazing that every day. And
Like Jimmy was saying.
right. So
And you're coming up with ideas. But you
Yes.
have she has good templates. And that's the anglers. No, I mean that by the anglers. I mean, you have some good goodness to work. Interesting characters to work with.
In this
Yes, you
story
do.
called Life, Pat. Yeah.
yeah,
And
and she's so good with the anglers. I mean, she can, work with them, get to know them easily, and interview them and do some fun content with them, and I love it.
yeah, and I like how Bassmaster social media has always been cool. And I like I saw a little turn with it when first with Will and then with you stepping in. And I how could I say this? I noticed some parallels with Bassmaster. I'm talking with my hands, as many people do. I noticed some parallels with Bassmaster's social media and other professional sports. And I say that respectfully. And I guess always the goal, or not the goal, but something that bass fishing has always wanted, fans, anglers, is to legitimize this sport as a sport. Many obstacles to overcome, right, Kyle? But someday we'll do it.
Sure.
But I like how the social media incorporated traditional B.A.S.S social media with a newer, more modern look of professional sports organization. So thank you for that, Laura.
Thanks,
I think,
Pat.
I think that a lot of the Bass fans noticed.
Are you talking about like the vintage bass, like the old school footage?
Well, no, I love that. But I just mean maybe the look of how you were doing the stories, how you were doing the posts, the look in general reminded me of like, oh, okay, I'm going to look at the Chicago Bears social media.
Yeah.
And then there was, you know what I mean? I just got the vibe
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. It's good. Take it. I like it.
I mean, I think it's part of this job, but like constantly I'm on my phone. Like I have an Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So I absorb a lot of like NFL content or the Masters or literally all those sports. So oftentimes I'll screenshot if there's like a graphic or something that I think looks really good. I'm like, ooh, can I replicate this to some degree that makes sense for us? So I'll screenshot it and then save it to myself.
Yeah.
So
And you're
that
doing
probably, I mean, that makes me feel good to know that someone notices it.
I noticed it. I certainly did, along with many other bass fishing fans. I think a lot of us knows. So let me back up. You are social media manager. Is that your apropos title?
It is.
Okay. And that's a big deal. Like, so we've been, I mean, let's be real. When I first started doing a bass fishing talk show, I think between this and the radio show, it's 12, 13 years now. Social media wasn't really that big of a deal. I mean, that long ago, it wasn't. And it just, in such a short time, how important it became to every sports organization. So your job is a hard hat to wear. Get it?
It is, but it's a fun hat.
Okay, I like
think
your
that
attitude.
Sometimes people forget that social media is meant to be fun. So oftentimes we'll do those silly, like, how does a fish wear pants? And then we do the, you know what I mean? Like stuff that's obviously ridiculous. Yeah, it's obviously ridiculous, but it's like also, hey, don't forget, this is social media. Like, have fun. Keep it lighthearted sometimes, you know. There's never anything wrong with that.
We enjoy it. And so, again, like I was telling Jim, one of the jobs that I have as a bass fishing talk show host is to do some R&D. And I found out some interesting stuff about you. You're kind of bougie, actually, Laura. I don't know if you know, like she was running a chamber of commerce for years, like in charge of the whole dang deal. Like that's a pretty bougie job, isn't it, Laura?
It is, but it was fun because this is where I grew up, and I'm from like a really, really small town. So all the business owners already knew, like I grew up with them. Like they knew me whenever I was like a wee lassie.
Okay.
But it was fun. I mean, yeah, it had a lot of responsibility for sure.
Did you get a lot of free lunches at places?
I did, yeah.
Good.
And everyone knew what I ordered. I would come into a restaurant and they'd be like, "Oh, popcorn chicken. Here you go."
Like were you like Trevor smokes. Let's go. Were you like that?
Devil Wears Prada lady going in there. No.
You weren't demanding Marlboros on command? Oh, I don't know. You also
me. I wouldn't do that.
I just said that because of Trailer Park Boys. I've been watching it. I'm sorry. So you also have your own photography and motion picture company. I said that part to be fancy, but you have your.
I did for about 2 years. I was freelancing because I was like, you know what? I love doing this. Let me just do this for a little bit, get it out of my system. I knew it was going to be forever, but it was really fun. So
I know you have a passion for photography. It's evident.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, you're always snapping pics.
Like, I like now that it's not my full-time job. Like, I'm not stressed over needing a paycheck to just do weddings constantly. Like, I was getting sick of doing that, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So now I'm able to go out on weekends and go to places that I want to and just photograph it for fun. So it still brings in like I don't know what the word is.
Bacon.
But it allows me to keep doing what I love as a side hobby. So.
Yeah, and I see you at the events too with the camera, and you're obviously taking pictures of the anglers, videoing the anglers, the co-workers, whatever, finding content, and I see you enjoy that part of it. That's for sure. Pretty cool.
Sure.
Hey, Kyle, Jim, Lisa, get this. My favorite thing that I found out about Laura is she used to be a podcast co-host. Did you know that?
Wow, I didn't know
I
that.
did,
Yes.
yeah.
It
She
doesn't
did.
surprise me.
Yeah, I turned it on, and there was two guys on there. One guy was like, "It's raccoon hunting season. We're gonna get at it." And then the other guy was like, "There's a wild game dinner this weekend up at the lodge, at the Moose Lodge." And then Laura was just sipping on a cappuccino.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But you were, yeah, that was good. What was the name of that
Thank
show?
you. It was fun, and that
Oh, I
was
liked
during
it for real. It was cool. The guys were amazing.
And no, I mean, it was like a legitimate thing. Like every Friday at like 8 a.m., I would go in and the show started at 8 a.m., but we would go over all of the outdoor events or things happening in the county because that was whenever I was still in the Chamber of Commerce. So it became it made sense to promote the outdoors because that was literally all that we had tourism wise. So it was fun though. Like I had somebody mailed me like fan mail, like a box, and we did an unboxing, and it ended up being a coffee mug that fits a whole gallon of coffee.
Oh, I've seen that on your desk.
It's on my desk. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. And it says, "I like big mugs, and I cannot lie."
But hey, you're doing an amazing job. Again, as a social media manager, you seem artsy. Are you artsy? Like I'm looking, and like, would you consider yourself artsy?
Kind of.
Okay.
I don't know though. That's like if someone tells you like, "Do you think you're smart?" And then you're like, if someone says yes, then you're like, "No, they're not that smart."
Yeah,
So,
I always just say I'm a big dummy.
just say, like, I enjoy artsy things. I myself am not artsy.
Okay.
Hey Pat, I got one thing on Laura that I'll
do tell.
that I'll pass on. I'll say that consistency is a lost art these days.
Okay.
And it is really hard to pull off when your job is social media to be consistently good. And Laura's very consistent. That sounds like a mild compliment.
She's
but
like
I'm telling you,
She
being consistent in social media is a huge compliment.
Yeah, that is. I mean, for real.
It is.
And for real, the kids call it not missing, and you don't miss.
Yeah.
Well,
while we're handing out flowers, since we're doing that, I gotta add something too. No, I'm not. So I was gonna say
handing out flowers. Is that what he said?
Yeah. That's another thing the kids are saying.
Here's a story of a guy named Duncan. Okay.
So on top of consistency is creativity for sure. That's kind of like what you were going along with, kind of the new shift in the way we posted, the things we posted. And I say we, Laura. I'd be the first to say I give Laura a hard time almost all the time. And sometimes she says ideas that I think personally are dumb, and then she does it, and it's like, great. And I'm like, well, good thing she's running it and not me. Like she kills it on that front. She does an outstanding job of being creative.
You see, Kyle, in the business, it's called throwing it at the wall and seeing if it sticks, eh, kid?
And the only way that it's like pasta, the only way you know if it's ready is if you throw it to the wall and if it sticks.
See, there you go. Laura knows.
I throw a mini of uncooked pasta noodles.
I think when your job is a daily creative job, you have to be willing to fail. And that means just try some stuff. And sometimes it'll be amazing, and other times it's like, oh, that's a dud. But you got to be willing to do that and not afraid to do it. And the environment at B.A.S.S is good that way. We could try almost anything. We very rarely get in trouble for a piece of content.
Nice.
Yeah, that's true. And honestly, like Kyle and Jim, Lisa's on the other end of the hall, so she doesn't get to see me like stand up and annoy everyone. But our area is so close, I feel like, because I can easily, I don't know. I mean, Kyle could tell you, I probably go over there and ask them questions at least 10 times a day. Just to be like, do you think
you're
this
just
is
trying to get out of your cubicle? That's all you're doing. You're antsy pants. You can't sit still. You're trying to get out. You're just not lollygagging around. I know your type.
Swing by the candy bowl.
You in the office.
The candy bowl.
I mean, I do swing by the candy bowl and maybe a few times. But I also will just sit in my cube with these headphones in, blasting music really
And
loud.
you're like, I thought it was wear your pajamas to work day, Chase.
Exactly.
That's tomorrow.
Hold on.
Oh,
It's Halloween.
okay.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. I could wear Halloween costume.
But Laura, seriously, thank you for what you're doing. And thank you for the support you show this silly show. We appreciate that immensely, that you took a liking to us, and thank you
You're
for
welcome.
that. Yeah, thanks.
I love you
Thanks.
guys.
Yeah, well, we love you too, so thank you. Speaking of that, what's something you love about that guy Jessie over there? What's something you really like about him?
Good luck.
No, because
This is fun. This is gonna
I
be
don't think
fun.
I've ever been nice to her for her to even have something nice.
Are you
to say
serious?
back.
You're mean, Kyle?
No.
Oh,
no.
I was gonna
We
say.
give each other a very
At
hard
least
time.
I didn't think he had a mean bone in him.
no, Kyle's the type of person that like all of us get picked on by him, but it's out of love, and we know that if me and Mandy, which I will say this, Mandy is probably watching right now. I can't see the comments, but
I
she
love
said
Mandy.
that she loves you guys and she wants to just say hey. But anyway, back to that.
Mandy,
All
you're
of us-
up next, so you know.
All of
On
us
the
know
next feature of the Shining Stars.
this is my wand. All of us know that Kyle is going to have our backs no matter what. And maybe it's just because I went to Auburn, but it's like it feels like a family, like our little group is. And Kyle's kind of like the ringleader of our family. So,
Do you have a Jordan Lee poster in your bedroom? Since you're
me?
Yeah, since you're from Auburn.
No, but I do have a vintage Brandon Pollock flag in my cube.
Oh, that's
Somebody
pretty
put it
cool.
there. I know,
Good.
but somebody put it there while I was going on vacation. And it said torture team on it.
Huh.
Which is pretty fun.
It could be worth something.
Yeah.
Hey, Kyle, you know what my favorite thing about you is?
I'm gonna get something to do with smiling.
Yeah, you're always
Yes, yes.
You really do. Whenever I see you, you make me feel good. Like
Yeah.
Lisa was saying about Gussie and Johnny. And so I was talking to the Ginger Ninja, to Andy, before the show. And I was like, remember way back when FLW used to send us to the Cup and do broadcasting, and we'd always run into Kyle. And Kyle was always so happy to see us. And at that time, we were kind of just, they were starting out. I think that was our second, third season or something. And Kyle, you were into us then, and it made us feel good, like that you were happy to see us. And I thank you for that. It was guys like you that kept us going, bud.
Absolutely. Real recognized real. Is that right? That's what the kids say these days.
Yeah. Keep it
That's,
real.
I have honestly enjoyed watching your show from day one. I can remember watching some of the Greg Hackney episodes early on. And I remember one of the first episodes I watched, I think I share this sentiment with plenty of people in the fact that I was like, what the hell am I watching? So you couldn't stop watching. You just couldn't stop watching.
Yeah. It's like a bad accident on the Dan Ryan Expressway. Yeah.
But it was just the best. And I thoroughly enjoy the show and always have.
Well, thanks, man. And appreciate the support. And you are overdue to be on this show, as of all of you are. And of course, you've been razzing me forever, but you never have me on. Screw you.
I've been giving you a hard time about that. That's for sure.
Even on your own show.
Wow. I told him this. We had Pat on the podcast, and I told him, I think, by the time he has me on the show, we will have gone through every Bassmaster employee except for me. I think I thought I was dead last, but now I see that I'm around these superstars.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
so take it back publicly.
I guess you're right. I'm wrong.
Take it back publicly.
I mean, I actually argued with Pat to keep you off this episode. And he fought for you, man. He fought for you.
Ronnie Moore texts and says, "Kyle is my heart."
Oh,
yeah, Kyle is my favorite heart. That's nice.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you're a lot of people's favorite heart.
I have a lot of people to thank, that's for sure, and Ronnie would definitely be there at the top of the list because I was an intern there at JM Associates, and Ronnie was about, it seemed like, of only, a few people that would give me the time of day to give me things to do or make me feel important. And Ronnie did that from day one. So I always always will be grateful for Ronnie, and then obviously just our friendship now, even today. So
he's a plethora of information, and as you may or may
he
not
is.
know, we probe him often, and we probe him hard for information.
Good.
It's not aliens, it's us. And what I got from Ronnie this week is pretty amazing. And gosh, I wish I would have brought my my spectacles up here. But this is actually from your LinkedIn profile. And I would like to, I'd like to read this to everyone here. In case.
This is already outdated. I haven't updated my
No.
profile
This is
in so
current
long.
and up to date. Current and up to date. Just wrote this. It says, I am a hardworking, self-driven individual who currently works in media production marketing. With multiple responsibilities. So far, it's right, Jim. He's nailing it so far. My positive and social personality enable me to succeed in team environments. And I also have a freaking kick-ass smile.
I mean, none of that was false.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, it's updated.
Yeah.
It's upgraded.
At the time, I probably made that up, but all that is true now that I've actually had a professional career for a few years. Probably, I don't want to. That's not a brag, but that's about all I'm good at, I think.
So no, come on now. I mean, but I read that because I mean it's pretty much straight on. I mean that's Kyle. That's Kyle. Kyle's LinkedIn profile is Kyle, and that's not often seen. Let's just be real.
Checks out.
Yeah, you. So here's a couple things I found out about Kyle Jessie. First off, this is pretty interesting. You were a baseball instructor and umpire. A baseball instructor and umpire. Lisa, an umpire has to deal with a lot of the same things you do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to be honest. I don't see Kyle dealing with the things you deal with. I just don't.
Well, I'm going to start calling on him at tournaments for some help.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he's a ruffian. Maybe,
All
yeah.
the balls
You're
in
out of
play.
here. Maybe if you put a mask on him, he gets a little rough. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, so Kyle, you're throwing. Did you ever eject anybody?
No. So ironically, it's funny to go back to what Lisa said about the 10-year-olds. So when I was umpiring, I was still in high school, and I was typically umpiring like 9-year-olds, which is like the first year actual pitching is involved. It's not pitching machine, it's not T-ball. So as the behind the plate umpire, that's a hopeless job because 9-year-olds don't throw strikes at all. I mean, they don't throw strikes. So you got to start calling strikes eventually. And then you got, the parents chirping you for a game that doesn't even matter. And nobody wants to hear that, but it wasn't like travel baseball or like it wasn't super competitive. Let's just put it that way. It was rec league, and some of the parents would be chirping us pretty hard. And again, like I said, it's a really hard job to do as it is, but even harder when the kids aren't actually throwing strikes. So you just got to call something.
It's a rough job. Lisa, call on him whenever you need somebody. That's your guy.
Yeah.
That's your guy. Call him
Well,
up. to the
Pat,
plate. Yeah.
You know what I was going to say about Kyle is he is so helpful. Like if I need something, he is there. I know like Dalton didn't show up for the Marshall training, and he was like, I'll be there. No problem. So I just wanted to say I appreciate that, Kyle.
I appreciate you saying that. That means a lot to me for sure.
Yeah.
No, it's good that I have you out there to count on.
Oh, and Lisa, if I may back up, thank you for reminding me. I have this here, and I did not thank you for being part of making my Marshall experiences in 2023 some of the most memorable days of my life. And I say that sincerely, like you don't even know. I mean, some of the anglers that I was with and how special that was. And
right.
If I told you I didn't cry about it a little bit, I'd be lying, and I did. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I can backtrack there. But Kyle, I also learned that you were a floor manager at Trader Joe's.
Trader Bill's.
No, let's call it Trader Joe's.
Those are two different
More
things.
exciting. Let's just pretend it's Trader Joe's.
I don't really know.
For the podcast, we do things for value here.
I don't really know how else to put
So
this.
you
but
recommended the coffee and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
I don't
and all
belong
the
in Trader
organic
Joe's.
product.
I've been in there several times. I am the outcast in that place. So
Well,
that's
it's pretty interesting that you worked there and ran it as a floor sales manager.
yeah.
Don't even like it.
Yeah, that was I don't, are we playing pretend here? I mean,
No, I don't know. I'm just pretending. So it was. Are we playing pretend here? Yes.
Hey, we can go this route, but
you as a sporting goods store. It's called, what was it? Trader Bill's?
Trader Bill's in Hot
Trader
Springs, Arkansas. Yep.
Hot Springs, Kansas. Come on down to Trader Bill's. I'm Kyle Jessie. I sell you spinner baits, crankbaits, plugs, whatever you might need. Is that
Pretty
how it went?
much. That was a ton of fun. I've told Jim this before, but if I'm ever so lucky to be in Jim's position and retire, that's what I would want to go back and do, because that's the most fun thing ever, and I enjoyed every second of doing that job. It very rarely seemed like a job. Let's put it that way. Just basically making a paycheck and then just using said paycheck to pay for baits at a better cost into the store. So
you got it, man.
Yeah. I don't think I cashed out a single dollar from that job, but I got a lot of baits and a lot of rods and reels.
That's pretty awesome. And you got hired full-time by Bass in 2020. Is that correct?
Fall of 2020. Yep. November.
Okay. And before that, you were still doing work with Bass for Mike and JM Associates, right?
Absolutely. So yeah, I got done with college and had to have an internship as my degree requirement, and started at JM. It was an unpaid internship. I did that for I don't know how many months. I'd say 3 or 4 maybe. And I don't know if this makes me an idiot or persistent, but the internship ended and I kept going back. Every weekend there was a tournament to help.
I could see you doing that.
Just to do that because I enjoyed it that much. And yeah, so then the next year they found a way to fit me in freelance, and I did that for 2 years. And yeah, the timing of everything worked out perfect. You guys were talking about how everything happens for a reason earlier with Jim. Well, I've told him this several times, but the timing worked out perfect for me too, because at that point, I guess 2019 season had ended. 2020 was almost ended. And I was pretty well ready to give up the dream of working for Bass, because I just didn't know if there was a career similar to Lisa. There was no real full-time opportunities. Not that, I'm certain that there would have been, somebody had my back for that, but there was just really no opportunity. And then Jim Sexton sent me an email, and it was the same way. I thought it was Jim, you're muted. I want to hear what you're saying.
Jim, turn your deal back on.
Oh,
the elbow guns. Oh, he. Anyway,
but yeah, the timing worked out so perfectly to where I got an email from Jim, and similar to the story you said with Zona, I didn't think it was real, because I was like, "There's no way this is actually even a potential for this to work out." And went through the interview process, and then was super fortunate to be able to work full time there in 2020.
Yeah, bud, and again, you are a contributor, of course, in front of the scenes on the Bassmaster Insider podcast, the co-host of that. But I mean, so much behind the scenes is because of you too, Kyle. I mean, there's a and Lisa, you're out in the forefront, but there's so much behind the scenes too that you do. People don't realize exactly what goes into it. And Kyle, you're a model employee. I mean, you really are.
Let me add a little judgment to that.
Okay.
Because
okay,
Kyle,
boss.
You're puffing him pretty high.
I am.
And
I'm fluffing him up like you, Jimmy.
I mean, that's my job. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'll back off.
I'm sorry I got distracted. I was listening to another podcast for just a minute. But,
go ahead.
Sorry, no, I wasn't.
That's you want to fight me now? You going south side on me? You lived in Hammond for a minute. LFG, Jimmy. LFG.
Yeah. What I was remembering was Kyle, when he reached that point where he thought the dream was ending, he told me that he was working on a real estate license.
Oh,
That is
at that
correct, yeah.
point. And the reason I wanted to work with Kyle and to hire him was that summer, 2020 was COVID year.
Yeah.
We didn't have marshals. All right. It was
That's right.
that was kind of a decision to keep it safe. Didn't have marshals. So instead of being the head website guy, I kind of volunteered to be on the water and go around and do Skype interviews for the live show. All right. So I would spend all day bouncing around the lake, hopping in the boats with guys and putting the camera in front of them, and Zona and Tommy asking them questions. But for that to happen, Kyle was the intermediary. Kyle was the gatekeeper for me. Between, if Kyle was good to me, he got my guy on the show. If Kyle was skeptical, he'd blame it on Mike. He'd say, "Yeah, Mike doesn't want him on right now."
He was
sorry
that
about
guy.
that. And I'm like, dude, I just ran an hour to get to this guy. But Kyle did such
Used
a
to be an
wonderful.
umpire.
He did such a wonderful job of handling what I was doing, and that I came out of that going, man, he's a really good dude, and so positive and nice and knowledgeable that I started thinking about, whoa, wonder if he could work out for this job. And then I thought, he probably doesn't want to move. But I called Kyle and he said, literally, you called at the right time. I think I'm ready to make a move.
That's great.
Which was big because he and his wife are both from Hot Springs with family there and the whole thing. So it's a big decision to make that kind of move. But he has reached the point in life where he knew that to kind of take the next step, do something he was really passionate about, he had to make that move. Been at B.A.S.S for 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I've only thought about firing him, I don't know, once a week, something
That's
like
not
that.
bad.
Yeah,
Not
pretty good.
Not a bad average. Not a bad average. Well, we're happy that you hired him as well, Jim.
Oh, so am I.
I mean, and Kyle, again, thank you for all the support that you show the show. We appreciate you. But I got to ask you one more question before we move on to the deal that's going to tell us who's the champion of the four of you in tonight's episode. But Kyle, what is it that when that alarm goes off in the morning, what is it about working for B.A.S.S that makes you want to get up and go to the office? What is it?
To me, it's the team aspect of it. Yeah, I truly mean that. I think the most gratifying moments for me as an employee at B.A.S.S, it's like this every single Elite Series tournament, or really every tournament, but like the Classic every year, I leave the Classic thinking it's amazing that with as few employees as B.A.S.S has, because it's not as big as people think, that is capable. Like, we're capable of doing that. And I say we because it's everybody. Like, there's nobody that gets left off of being able to, be a part of that team. And to me, that's what motivates me. I mean, I'm at the end of the day, I'm a competitor and I'm a team guy, and I like being a part of a team. And I guess just doing my part and trying to, make the team better is, I guess, what motivates me the most, to be honest.
Heck yeah, bud. And you're a motivator, and it said it in your LinkedIn statement. You are conducive to the environment of team playing, or something.
Hey, Pat, one other thing on Kyle that he would never say, but Kyle is a leader.
Okay.
He's not in a so-called leadership position where he's managing people, but it turns out, I mean, Kyle's made my job so much easier because all the other younger people that work on the team and freelancers, they look up to Kyle. And so Kyle can give them direction, tell them what to do, take on this, try that.
Cool.
And I don't have to do it. And
that's awesome.
And it's actually a little better coming from him because he's in the trenches with them. So it's, every organization needs leaders at all levels, right? It's not just the head people, but Kyle's a real leader, and he's got a really bright future.
Yeah, I agree. He's a boss. Streets need bosses. You know what I mean, Cal?
Mm-hmm.
I do know what you mean, but I got to say this. I don't know if we're going to get to this or if this was a part of the show, but I already regret not saying anything, necessarily in front of everybody today at Jim's luncheon. But there's nothing I can say here that I haven't pretty much already said to Jim, but how grateful I am for Jim from the moment I moved here to today. Like when I moved here, Jim made me feel important. He gave me, responsibilities that made me feel important. And, from that day all the way to now, I consider Jim easily one of my, not just my boss, but one of my best friends that lives in Birmingham. And I truly mean that. And I've been taking the approach of basically acting like Jim's not retiring. And it's just going to surprise me one day when he doesn't show up, because I don't want to acknowledge that that's true yet. But I couldn't be any more happy for Jim, but also sad for me selfishly, because Jim is one of the most amazing people I've ever been around, for sure.
That's awesome, dude.
Well, thank you, Kyle. Pat, I do want to tell you the secret to managing Kyle. Just throw a lot of shit on his plate.
Is that what it? Just throw it all out there. Keep him busy. Keep him busy.
And he gets it done.
Yeah, I see that.
And he learned, learn.
He's always climbing the ladder, that Kyle. All right, well, let's see this. Let's figure out. Now, every time we have Bass Peoples on the show, we play a little game show to decide who is the king or queen of the office for this particular episode.
Pat already dislike whatever this is about.
Oh, you're going to love this. You're going to love it.
I'm already humiliated.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, did you guys ever play keep the ball, like basketball? You just keep going until you miss. You played that. You know what I mean. All right. So we're gonna play a little game straight cast bass fishing talk show version, game show version of keep the ball, but with bass fishing and Christmas trivia combined. What do you think?
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
I'm confused.
Well, good.
I do not know much about fishing. Like, that sounds crazy to say because of my.
Let's just play the game. You just might win. You don't even know. Lisa, she's making excuses already. We don't need this. You ready? We're gonna play ball. Andy, are you ready? You got any Christmas game show music?
I am ready.
The B.A.S.S employees King and Queen of the Office contest. Straight cast, the glorified version of a bass fishing talk show, and it's a little keep the ball version. We have three categories. We have Bassmaster Classic trivia. We have largemouth bass trivia, and we have Christmas trivia. So far, Laura's winning. Okay, since Jim is retiring, we are going to let him take the first question. And Jim, if you answer this question correctly, you have the chance to keep going or pass the ball to someone. If not, it will move to Lisa Talmadge, who is on your left. Okay. So the first question to be asked. Bassmaster Classic Trivia. Or Jim, what do you want? Bassmaster Classic Trivia? You want largemouth bass trivia or Christmas trivia?
I'll go Classic.
Oh, okay. Look at you. Bassmaster Classic Trivia. Name the anglers that have won two classics.
Two classics.
Two classics.
All right. Well, we'll go with Hank Cherry.
That's right. Old Hank Cherry.
We'll go with Jordan Lee.
Jay Lee is correct.
Are you limiting it to two or more?
No, just two.
Oh, that's harder. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pat.
Just two, sir.
Okay.
That's why I picked you and gave you this hard question.
Whew. Man, this is.
Do you know the answer, Kyle?
I know the first two that he said. Now I'm stumped.
Jay Lee, Hank Cherry.
I'm gonna pass it to Lisa.
Ooh, Lisa, passing.
Okay, so we got Cherry.
Oh, hold on. You can keep this question or pick another one. I just want to make
keep it.
Okay, so you got Cherry and Lee.
Cherry and Lee. Hank Parker.
Yes.
Bobby Murray.
Yeah.
And George Cochran.
You are amazing, Lisa. That's why you are a gosh dang waymaster.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Pretty amazing. You want to keep the ball, Lisa, or do you want to pass it?
I'll pass it.
Oh, she's passing. Who do you want to pass it to? Oh, it goes to
Laura.
Laura. It goes to Laura.
Oh.
That's
That is like a pop.
Laura.
culture
I'm gonna.
question.
So, Laura, do you want to go Christmas? Christmas. You want to go largemouth bass or Bassmaster Classic? Largemouth bass is A, B, C's, or D's, none of the above. Maybe that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that really tickles my brain. Let's do that.
Let's brain tickle with Laura right now.
Let's go with that.
Okay.
That gives me a little.
Here we go. The oldest largemouth bass ever to be recorded is A, 41 years old, B, 17 years old, C, 23 years old, or D, none of the above. This is according to the Texas wildlife deal. Isn't that
The
what it's called?
age of the bass.
Yes,
is
the
what it
age of
is.
the bass. So it's either A, 41, B, 17, C, 23, or D, none of the above. The longest living largemouth bass ever recorded.
I feel like C. I like C.
You're correct. That's 23. And you are correct. Michael Jordan's number, 23 years old. Wow. See, you thought you sucked at bass question. Okay, you wanna keep the ball? You're gonna pass it.
Yeah, give it a call.
Oh, Kyle. Okay, Kyle, what are you going?
I like the setup of largemouth bass, so we're gonna go with that.
Okay, the setup of largemouth bass. Kyle, what is the longest largemouth bass? You'll find this interesting, Lisa. What is the longest largemouth bass ever recorded? Is it A, 38.2 inches, B, 36.4, C, 30.3, or D, none of the above?
Let's see. It's not. I'm saying no way. It's 38. I mean, that's like a tarpon. That's got to be too long. I feel like. I'm thinking of the Lake Fork slot limit here and thinking how big an over has to be, and 38 inches would be like literally a tarpon. I'm gonna go. Okay, what was this? B was 32 point something.
Yeah, we have 36.4, 30.3, 38.2, or none of that.
I'm gonna go 30 point. What'd you say? 30.3.
Yeah,
that seems reasonable.
Okay, but you're wrong. It's actually 38.2. I couldn't believe it either.
Grief.
I mean, that's a big hit. You know what I mean? Lisa,
I'm like a
imagine holding that
surgeon.
one up. All right. This is according to
Yeah.
Texas Fish and Game Wildlife deal. I don't know. Google stuff, Kyle. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Google, but 38, that's a megalodon. All right. So what are you doing? What are you doing? You're gonna you got it wrong.
Yeah, I got
So
it wrong.
it goes back to Jimmy. It goes back to Jimmy. And you got Christmas, you got bucket heads, or you got Bassmaster Classic. And this just in, because you are retiring, if you get this question right, it's all the marbles. You're the winner.
Whoa.
Yeah, you're king of the office for the last few weeks. I don't know what to say. Yeah, so you pick your question wisely, Jim.
You know,
Bucket
I feel
heads,
like,
classic, or Christmas.
I feel like I'm leaning toward Christmas just because we hadn't done it.
Okay.
And
I
I
like
want
your
to
style.
see. I don't feel like my depth there is real strong, but let's give it a shot.
Okay, and this is for all the marbles, king of the office. And in the song, Frosty the Snowman, what was it that gave that snowman life? It must have been that blank, 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 they say.
Everyone's like,
Man.
Jim, come on.
I
Jim
think it.
phone a friend?
Dun, dun, dum, bum, bum,
Yeah.
da-doo.
What, Laura?
Can Jim phone a friend? Is this like
Are you his friend?
you want to be a no?
Oh.
Don't phone me.
You don't know the answer?
I feel pretty.
Lisa
confident.
knows it.
I feel pretty confident about this.
Okay, go ahead.
It's actually two of the sponsors of your show.
Yes.
Dakota Lithium and Tin Cup.
Well, actually, Impulse Lithium, yes, and Tin Cup, and you're right.
Oh,
Yes,
excuse me,
and
Impulse
it's yes,
Lithium.
and it's the old silk hat that Frosty wore.
All
Jim,
right.
you are the king of the office. Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing. Jim, don't retire. You still got a chance. I tried to plead a KVD to come back to Bass, and I'm also pleading with you to stay at Bass.
Okay. Well,
All right.
There's maybe some small duties that are getting lined up.
Okay. We're ready for you, whatever it may be. Jim, thank you. Kyle, thank you. Laura, thank you. And Lisa, thank you. I had a great time with y'all tonight. Did you guys have fun?
I had so much fun.
Oh
I
yeah.
did.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Pat.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll see y'all in Tejas.
Pat, I have one more question.
Oh, yes, please.
Do you want me to show these hats off?
Oh my gosh, thank you. You are exactly right. We got to do this. I'm a horrible host. B.A.S.S has contributed not one, not two, but 3 limited edition kick-ass hats. Let's see them, Laura.
Ooh.
Who they're the new ones with
What's
the rope.
woman's name off of where you touch the wall and it goes, dude, and it shows the letter. Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
What is
Your
that
Vanna
woman's
White?
name?
Vanna
Yeah.
White, yeah.
Yes.
That's a nice hat.
Aha, yes. And for those on the podcast, it's a new edition.
I want one of
it's a
those so
rope hat.
bad.
Yeah, Jim, you're retiring. You screwed up. You would have had one.
I know it.
Way to go. Oh, and the Bassmaster one. It says Bassmaster.
wait.
That's pretty cool too. I like that one with the patch. That's nice. And one more. Boom, traditional Bass logo. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
3 hats, 3 winners. Did Andy get you guys the winners? Do we have that?
Pat, just text me. Winner addresses.
Well,
and
no, we're
stuff.
going to name them right now. Or are we going to do it at the end of the show? Andy, what am I doing? I heard something beep. Oh, I think you guys are getting loaded up.
Yep. We got it.
Okay. So whoever it is, go. We got a drum roll. What do we got?
Let's do white hat first.
White hat first. The winner of the white hat with the Bass logo.
And my nose right on top of it.
Go ahead.
Someone name
Matt Forbes.
Matt Forbes. You won the white Bass hat. Heck yeah. All right. Keep them coming. Who else we got? What's up next, Vanna? We have the Bassmaster patch that says Bassmaster. It's an olive green hat with a blue Bassmaster logo. Who's the winner of that one?
Mike Etzel.
Mike Etzel. You're the winner of that one right there. Boom, boom, boom. Make your heart go. And then finally, the winner of the blue traditional Bassmaster patch rope hat is.
That is Dustin Hobbs.
Dustin Hobbs, come on down. Amazing. So here's what we'll do. All the winners direct message JR Rock and Show Fantasy. Message him at the Straycast Facebook page. And then he's going to get you the deets, Laura, and then you guys will send them out to the lucky winners. Is that how it works?
Lovely.
Perfect. Laura, Kyle, Lisa, Jim, thank you for everything you guys do for the entire Bass Galaxy. You bring smiles to everyone's face. And thank you again for the support you show this show. We'll see you soon on the happy trail to happy bassing. You know what I mean?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Peace.
See y'all.
See y'all later. Hey, don't go anywhere, Bass Galaxy. That was Ray Scott's dream. Now we got the local scene coming on with the Cal-Sag bass anglers, and we're loading them up. They are from an undisclosed location, somewhere in the south side of Chicago. And how are we doing on that, Andy? Marathon show, Shadooby. We're good. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring them aboard. It's the south side Hitman. Our very own, one and only Cal-Sag bass anglers. Let's give it up for Ryan and Eric, Brian, Dennis, and Duncan. Duncan, what's going on, boys?
What's happening?
What's happening, Cal-Sag bass? You guys doing okay?
Doing swell.
Yeah, I can tell. And Ryan and Eric, even though it says Ryan under, but so Eric's name is not Ryan, but Ryan's name is not Eric either. But someone did this with the thing right there.
Yeah.
And Brian Jackson is Brian Jackson. And Duncan Cop Richardson, which is one of the coolest names ever, by the way, DKR. He's out there in the bottom right corner. And Dennis Bannock, Hammond firefighter. Kicking ass for centuries, this guy. But welcome to the show, guys. And why you guys are here is, first of all, some amazing anglers that have conquered the bass this year at Cal-Sag Bass on the river and on the big lake. And two of you guys are basically keeping the wheel of this thing turning. And I want to start off I'm going to start with Ryan. I'm going to start with you, Ryan, the guy that not the one that says Ryan. That's really Eric. But I'm going to start with Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan,
what's up?
We're going to start with you. And what I'm going to ask each one of you anglers to do is I'm going to ask you, do you ever see like on college football games, like where the players introduce themselves? It's going to be like, I'm Ryan Whitaker, University of Chicago, specialize in and I am your
I only watch Canadian football, Pat.
Well, then do it in a Canadian voice.
Oh,
all right. And,
okay.
Andy, you got
then.
any sports music? Where's Andy? There it is. Kick it in, Ryan. Give us an introduction of yourself.
I'm Ryan Whitaker. I bass fish, and I make some fishing lures, and I bass fish.
Yeah, that's
for
really
Cal-Sag
good.
Bass Angler.
Yeah, and the music's perfect. That really sounds like that. It should have been there. Great job, Andy. I like it.
Yeah.
Ryan bass fishes, and no, but all
Yeah,
kidding
go
aside,
bass fish.
Yeah, Ryan. Here's the deal. You're an example of one of those guys that wins in everything he fishes. You don't win every event, but you win all over the place. Okay. I mean, you win the Wisco deals. You win Angler's Dreams when they had those. Of course, you win Cal-Sag Bass. You are the River, Cal-Sag Bass River Division AOI. How many times, Popcorn?
2.
Who's counting? 2.
Okay.
Yeah, 2. So what's this, the third year at Cal-Sag?
Fourth.
Fourth.
Is it the third or the fourth year?
We're going to 4, right? Going into 4?
Oh, yeah, that was the third. Last year was the third year. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 out of the 3 years, Popcorn AOY on the river. You win everything around here. So 4 years, Brian? Okay, Brian's a historian of the bunch.
Posey got one, and I got one too.
Oh, okay. So the whole.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it is 4 years. So 2 out of 4.
Yeah.
Pretty dang good. You're batting 500, right? You're batting 500. But thank you, Brian,
for
being the historian of the bunch, and I do appreciate that. But Ryan, you win and you just qualified for something pretty cool. Tell us about what you just qualified for, bud.
Oh, yeah. The first year of the new format of Bass Nation, I got into the national championship through the Wisconsin Bass Nation. Pretty cool the way they've set that up now. Whole big shakeup of that whole thing. Now they've got divisionals, which is basically an open tournament. All you got to do is be in a Bass Nation club, and you're eligible to fish a divisional. And I believe top 20 out of these 4 divisionals can also qualify through your state. So I fish out of Wisconsin because we're so close to the state line, and
sure,
Southern Illinois fishing sucks. So I like to go north, and the Wisconsin Federation is really good, or Bass Nation. Sorry, still in the 90s. But yeah, pretty cool. Top 5 in Wisconsin Bass Nation at the state championship, go straight to nationals.
And
then if you don't make that, you can just get in that divisional.
And ultimately a chance to go to the Bassmaster Classic.
Yeah, top 3 at nationals go to Bassmaster Classic. The winner gets an Elite Series berth and a Classic berth. So, yeah, it's the most affordable way for weekend guys to chase that dream.
Yeah, I mean, and again, a new reality for a lot of anglers. Another alternative to the Bassmaster Opens. Pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Hey,
I think it's little known too. A lot of people still aren't aware of it, but man, if you're a weekend guy and you got dreams of fishing the Bassmaster Classic, you could be there in a couple tournaments, and not that big of an investment to get in either.
Dude, it could happen easier than a lot of people think. Hey, let me back up a second. For those that haven't heard of or seen the Cal-Sag Bass Anglers on the show before, Cal-Sag Bass is a local organization started by Dave Figley to bring proper tournament payouts in a singles format to anglers in this region. That did not exist in the Chicagoland area before until Dave conceptualized this and brought it to the forefront in the singles format. And again, as Brian said, the 4th year of it and growing. Imagine before fishing in tournaments around here in the area with 4 or 5 boats and you fished for $100. And that was a big derp. Okay. Because this is the armpit of the nation. Let's be real. And all of a sudden, here's this tournament. Now you're drawing big boats or good numbers of boats. You're paying thousands of dollars out in tournaments to the winner. And it's a pretty cool thing, for lack of a better word, for this area. And again, you guys are here because you are some of the shining stars of the organization. So sorry, I forgot that to talk. I went right into Ryan's professional college football career before we started. but no, for real. And I'm glad that you guys are here to represent Cal-Sag. Ryan, again, you are the River AOY. And Eric, you won the battle for the belt on the Big Lake. Sanders, he won AOY for the Big Lake. Congratulations to Sanders. He's not here tonight. And DKR, Duncan, you got the river belt, bud. You're the river belter. And it's like this. What's that? Your second time you won that?
Second time on the SAG. I got one on the Big Lake.
Oh, on the Big Lake last year. Yeah, that's right. I mean, so you're no stranger to victory. And in 23, you won every division you fished too. Duncan, whatever you were fishing, you were winning. There's something going on. We're going to talk to you about that in a minute. But and Brian Jackson, you of course, tournament organizer and developer for this Cal-Sag Bass, as well as amazing angler. And Dennis Bannock, thank you. You have really been picking up the slack as far as keeping the wheels and the structure of this organization together. So that's why we've chosen you, John. Oh, and of course, by the way, Eric caught one of the biggest bass I've ever seen on the south side of Lake Michigan. Just amazing. Just amazing. But a pretty cool bunch of guys. And Ryan, now back to you. Sorry, bud. So get it, bud. Ryan, you're fishing everywhere because you love to fish. Plain and simple. I've never seen a guy that just is just out there and loving it as much as you. Fishing with purpose, maybe, as one might say. I mean, for real, you're out there, dude. And you always seem to be happy when you're fishing. That's what I don't get. I see a lot of tournament anglers like Brian Jackson comes in mad. He just looks mad when he comes in. Ryan, no matter what, you always just got a smile on your face. You know what I mean? Like they were talking about Johnny or Gussie. Why is that, Ryan? Even when you're mad, you smile? Is that what happens?
I like fishing, man. If I'm fishing, I'm having a good time. I mean, I don't care. Tournament fishing in particular. If I have a bad day, all that means is I get to go fishing probably the next day because I'm going to be pissed and I want to go out and figure out what I did wrong. So if I have a bad day, I just know I get to go fishing again. If I have a good day, I had a good day. So I'm happy. So I just like catching them, man. It's fun.
Yeah,
I like hanging out with the guys too. In particular, at other tournaments, you might not see the smile on my face, but at these tournaments, I get to go hang out with my buddies. I mean, all these guys, we're all competitors and we're all, serious on the water. But when we get in the parking lot, it's fun.
It's
You
Razz
know,
time.
Everybody there is having a good time.
Yeah, I enjoy the events too. I'll be honest with you. They're the most funnest events that I've had the pleasure of emceeing in this area for years. It's there's always a good vibe that seems to be happening. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Everybody's cool. Everybody can catch them. We know, you know, we all respect each other on the water. I know that. I mean, you know, anytime you see somebody fishing something, you're thinking, God, what's he doing over there? You know,
What's going on over
everybody's respected because everybody's, you know, there's not many guys in our circuit, and it's not that small of a circuit. But there's not many guys that haven't won. Like a lot of our guys have won tournaments, so you know everybody's capable.
You don't know
of
who's coming up with it. You don't know who's coming up with it.
Yeah,
and the
right.
guy that just won everything this year, DKR. Duncan, you were on fire, dude. You're like Denzel Washington, man on fire of the Cal-Sag Bass anglers this year. What's the secret, Dunk? What was it? What was the consistency in all the leagues around here this year?
Yeah, I wish I could tell you there was some consistency to it, but honestly, it's the same thing everyone says. You get kind of lucky at the end of the day, and you pull in behind where other people have been fishing all day, and you throw something a little slower, a little quieter, and you get on them, and the last hour is magic. So,
wow.
Honestly,
Okay.
I wish I was a better fisherman and caught them all day, every day. But, you know, when it comes together at the end of the day, I never used to believe it when people said that, but that's how basically every tournament I did well this year went.
Really? So there was that magic window of opportunity that you capitalized on, and that's the secret to your success this year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's all been in the last hour.
Really?
Yeah.
You believe that, guys? Last hour, smoking you guys. The derb, not bad. What do you do for a living, Dunk?
I do believe
that. I work in construction, do foundations for bridges and highways.
Okay. Do you get to go bassing a lot, or does that keep you pretty busy?
Every once in a while I can get out during the week, but mostly just do it for the weekend fun.
Pretty much a weekend guy. So I know for a guy like you, it's pretty important to have a league to look forward to with some purpose on the weekend to fish a derb, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, ever since the Cal-Sag bass anglers came around, the whole scene's changed out here. I mean, you never used to be able to go out and fish for several $1,000s a year. Like, it just never happened. You know, the payouts are phenomenal. I mean, it's absolutely changed the game.
Yeah,
so, yeah, I mean, everyone can agree. Like, there's nothing else that pays out over 100%. It just doesn't exist.
Yeah, and I see you surfing turfing a lot, like with your winnings. You're going out and having a good dinner. You're going to Long John Silver's. You're going to Arby's. You're doing the deal. I see you, Dunk. You're not shy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
What's your the number one bait on the river this year for you?
The river.
Yeah, the river.
Well, I mean,
or the Lake Calumet.
In the fall, if I didn't say the Alabama rig, you guys would all know I'd be lying because you can all see it from a mile away.
Okay, throwing the chandelier, everybody is. Yeah,
but if it's not that, honestly, it's probably Senko.
Good old Senko.
Yeah, kind of the two extremes. They're either biting one or the other.
Wow, it's like you're throwing a bowling ball to a feather. But
yeah, exactly.
But you're winning derbs.
Pick which one they want to eat.
Yeah, and Dunk, I mean, and you've become the guy that they're like, oh shit, what's he got? You know what I mean? You're that guy now. You're that guy, Dunk.
Yeah, sorry, there's the dog up there.
Well, your dog isn't crucial to your wins. Let's just be real. Your dog.
Duncan's been that way for a while, by the way. He's been that way for a while.
Well, no disrespect. I'm noticing it a lot more. That's all I'm telling you. I see him looking at you more, Duncan. I see him looking at you more.
Yeah, no, it just takes a little bit of luck, and especially in the fall, it's been a little more prevalent lately. But honestly, I respect the guys that are higher in the AOY every year. I kind of get lucky with these championships at the end of the year because the fall sets up the way I like to fish. But these guys that are at the top of the AOY every year, man, I stumble in the spring and the summer, and these guys, Jackson, Whitaker,
Bassmaster Classic's a pretty important tournament too. You know what I mean? So is AOI in every league. So
Yeah, no, but there's guys that catch them every tournament, and then there's guys like me that get lucky a few times.
you're just being humble. You're not going to hear a guy being like, "Yeah, I just won that Bassmaster Classic." But no, congratulations on your win, bud. I mean, it's a big deal, and your consistency is a big deal. Talking about guys that are winning, the new kid on the block, so to speak. That's Eric, and I always say your last name wrong, and you know I'll never get it right in my brain, but it's Eric Bertowski to me always.
Yeah,
okay?
sure. That's perfect.
Yeah, say it right. Say your name right.
Berstowski, Eric Berstowski. But do whatever floats your boat. Whatever works.
That's Eric Berstowski.
Perfect.
That's what I said the whole time, Dunk. I was saying Eric Berstowski.
Yep, that's perfect.
So, okay, so Andy, we're going to do this one for Eric Berstowski. Let's give him a little sports music, and you got to introduce yourself. Are you ready for this? If you're going to be a big passing guy,
you got to do the school.
Yeah, you got to learn stuff like this.
I'm Eric Berstowski. I went to Lamont High School. I'm 21 years old, and I am very addicted to bass fishing. Extremely.
Kind of
about it.
Likes long walks on the beach.
I like long walks with my dog. I take my dog for a walk every day almost. And that's not I'm not lying.
I believe you, and that's amazing. And that was a killer intro, by the way. And Andy nailed the music again. I love it. But dude, you smashed the biggest bag that I don't know. That's the biggest one I've seen. 3 fish limit, by the way, on the south side of Lake Michigan. And for the Battle of the Belt on the big lake, what did you have? 15 something for 3, bud?
1569, I believe.
1569 for 3 smallmouth bass in the Chicagoland area. And you had, what was the bigs? 6'4" something?
644. Yeah.
644. 44 is my lucky number. 644.
Yeah.
Smallmouth bass. I saw Brian Jackson. He was like, WTF when that thing come up.
Yeah.
Popcorn was like, where'd you catch that?
I know where he's at.
DKR was like, yikes.
We fish all year and don't catch 6-pounders down here.
I mean, it's nuts. Bannock was phoning for replicas already. I mean, the thing was going, everybody's going crazy. So please tell us here the story of catching that monster fish. Do you want music too?
No,
okay.
Maybe
No
not.
music?
It's not that glamorous. I mean,
it is glamorous. It's a 644.
Yeah, I caught. I mean, I caught it on a rig, and I was on some whatever. I was catching fish every cast in a spot, but they were like 4-pounders that wouldn't help. And that's crazy to say because I suck a lot. So, I mean, I was catching 4-pounder, 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 and then I made a random cast out in the middle of nowhere, kind of, and
to get a backlash out.
No, but I was fighting it. I was like, oh, that's a big fish because it was doing those like drum head shakes that a big smallmouth does, and the roles reversed, and fighting it, and got next to the boat, and I was like, that's maybe a 5, and I scooped it. I don't use a net for singles tournaments. I don't know. I just don't. And I scooped it, and it was about as big as like half my arm, and I was like, that's a 6, 100% a 6.
Wow.
And then and then I weighed, and I was like, 6, okay. And I wasn't like screaming I didn't scream. I was just like, okay, we're cooking. Like, I already had like a big bag earlier, like early in the day and stuff like that. I had like 14 something by like 8 in the morning that day. And I caught that fish. I was like, okay. And I was like, yeah, I was excited, but I was just like, calm down. I kept fishing and kept catching them. Caught a bunch that were close to helping, but didn't help. But I was like, by the end of the day, and once I put that, like, got to hold that fish, and everyone was like going crazy. I was like, okay.
Yeah, and it was awesome. It was a great moment for the club to experience the good fishing there. We love that your parents were there to witness it. And it was just a good moment, Eric. It really was for bass fishing in this area. You know, it gave us hope. I mean, people are traveling to Door County, as all of you guys do, or people are going up at the St. Clair or whatever to catch smallmouth. But here's you guys jacking a 15-pound satchel for 3 fish.
The thing I have to say, though, the last probably 12 outings on Lake Michigan I've had this fall, I would say I had over 21 pounds. And the last 2 times I've been out, I haven't had over 21 pounds for 5 fish.
Okay, well.
And that says a lot about it's a good fishery. It's really good.
Healthy. It's called health.
Yes.
You got the gobies, you got the zebras, you got remember on the Al Linder special, I know you caught this, Ryan. He said, when the zebs came, the smallmouth grew. The zebs brought the big ones.
Yes, he said zebs a lot.
The zebs, dude.
They're the best thing and the worst thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they made the fishing for sure, but they break your heart often if you're fishing near anything with zebs on it.
They're a catch 44. That's
catch 44, exactly.
That's for sure. Hey, Eric, congratulations. Amazing victory. And we look forward to more from you. What's the plans for 24 for you?
I fished the opens last year, but not fishing them this year. I'm just gonna get better at fishing and fish all 9 the next year. I signed up for the divisional and the cross to hopefully get into the national championship. And once before the off limits, I'll probably go up there and go drive around and fish that, and fish in the Sturgeon Bay Open with Ryan next year. That'll be really fun. And maybe hop in an open, fish a bunch of local stuff. Just maybe Marshall and elite event.
At the Open at the Sturgeon Bay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna have Corey punch you. Just gonna have him walk up to you.
He might by the end of the day.
I hope we're not. I hope we're not that close.
Yeah. No, just on land. Just gonna have him walk up. I'm gonna send him.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
On land. I hope we're not that close there. Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, congratulations on your belt.
Thank you.
Or your AOY, I may
AOY.
say. Congratulations on your belt, and
thank you.
And Eric, congratulations on your belt.
Thank you.
Now I would like to give accolades to Dennis Bannock on the bottom left there and Brian Jackson on the top right. And I want to say thank you, boys. Again, for kind of keeping this this league together. We had some ups and downs this year. And you, Dennis, and you, Brian, did a great job of keeping some things together. Many people involved.
Yep.
Rob as well, and of course you, Ryan. I mean, but Dennis and Brian, you guys really stepped up to the plate, and especially you, Dennis, and I thank you for that.
Yeah, it's a team effort for sure. You know, we're met a little bit of challenges and stuff, but we're gonna come through. And you know, this isn't possible without the anglers, obviously, of course. You know, without them showing up, this wouldn't exist. And to Ryan's point, a little while ago, I've been fishing tournaments out there on Cal-Sag for 20 some years, along with Brian, and it was the same guys coming in winning all the time. And now it's, you never know who's going to come in. The anglers are so good that we have the best league, and we have the best anglers, the toughest anglers in the area fishing our derbs, bar none, without question. And it's tough. And for Duncan and Eric and Ryan and Brian to win belts and anglers of the year is saying something in our area. It's really, truly an accomplishment, and they need to really be congratulated for it. It's tough. I mean, when you think you have a good day, and you do, with 15, 16 pounds on the sag, and someone comes in with 19, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, wow. it turns your day from it's fun. Don't get me wrong, but you're like thinking, I got a chance, and then someone just comes in and destroys you. That's how good these guys are.
Yeah, and here's what's crazy. And on Lake Calumet, many of us know here that, and it's very important to us, that the Bassmaster Classic in 2000 took place in Chicago and on Lake Calumet and Lake Michigan. Our
totally different fishery.
Our home
today.
waters. When
Totally
I
different.
tell the professionals that were in that tournament about what goes on there now,
right,
they're like, no way. Like I used to tell Aaron, I'm like, dude, there's milfoil in there now, man. You can catch 19 pounds. No, yeah. I tell Clun, I'm like, hey, you know where you were cranking over there? You catch 3.5 pounders now, bud. He's like, no way.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Rick's
yeah.
Rocks, I call them. Rick's Rocks.
Yeah, Rick's Rocks. That's Rick Clun's spot.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Jackson's Point.
Well, those are every point. Just ask
yeah,
them.
that's it. That's but I mean, it's really Mark Risk's point, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
So none of these professional anglers can believe what Lake Calumet has done. It was, you know, when Dennis, when you and I used to fish out there ages ago, Brian, and you, I won tournaments with 7 pounds.
Absolutely.
You know
if
what I
you
mean?
came in with 10 pounds, you were a god.
A rock star.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That is an evolution.
Yes.
And and Brian, you've been here to witness it the whole way. You've been a force to be reckoned with in this region for ages. Brian Jackson is a smallmouth legend. I used to make fun of him because of his spin poles all the time, and he can't catch bucket heads. But but I mean, Brian, you won some money in this region, and pretty much fishing all summer long because you're a school teacher, so you had summers off a lot. You got to perfect your craft, but mainly on the weekends, just out as much as you could, learning Lake Michigan. It's come a long way, hasn't it, Brian?
Yeah, I fished it a long time. Lake Michigan and Lake Calumet, and I don't know. I don't practice as much as should anymore because I didn't have to, and now these guys are out there all the time and catching them all the time, and it makes it a lot harder on me. So at the end, it's got to start getting back there and taking advantage of that summer off.
Better tighten up, Jackson.
Yeah, you got kids that are doing travel softball all the time, and there's always something constantly going on, and it makes it hard. And I just figured because of my past knowledge that I could get out there and compete, and it's not the case no more. I mean, I can still do good. I'm still always in the mix, but I feel like there's more for me to put into it if I want to do better. And catch 6 pounders and like Eric over there.
You like 10 minutes ago. I need a charger.
Yeah, you got to keep up with Eric.
Yeah.
But
But definitely, I mean, the competitors that I go up against, they're out there. They're practicing. They're utilizing that time when you can. I know we have some off limits in this division, and it kind of plays in my advantage, even though I can get out there. But I need to get out there more. That's for sure, because these guys are tough.
Yeah, and they're out there all the time, so you better.
They're out there.
All right.
Yes.
Here's a couple things that I am going to suggest for Cal-Sag Bass rules for next year. For the river, stop the stupid 2 check-in points. No tournaments do that. That's for babies. Don't do it. There's 1 check-in point in a tournament. Okay, not for. I was behind the rocks. I need time to check in. I want to fish as much as I can, and if you guys can't check in the other spot, and now it's even. No, there's 1 check-in point in tournaments. Hear me, boys? As the MC of your organization.
Yeah, but I mean, if I could add to that, I mean, you got to hear me out.
Yeah,
you got to hear me out. And everybody knows it's the case too. This is a body of water that we fish religiously. And it's not like the Bassmasters where they rotate and they go to different areas. You got to be a little bit more strategic on the body of water that you're fishing. We have a lock system every single tournament. And some of these lock masters are, I don't know
Account for the lock.
They're jag-offs.
You need to account for the
They're
lock.
jag-offs. I mean,
They are. You're
there's
the
no
worst.
other way of putting it.
I'm going to name the worst guy. His name is Eric.
If we're doing a lock system every single time.
Okay.
There's one checkpoint on the other side.
Hear me out. One check-in. I don't care, Brian.
This ain't the Bassmasters, man.
Yeah, it is. It's the local Bassmaster, son. Step it up.
I get what you're saying. Trust me.
Yeah, hear me. One check-in. Want to fight? Want to fight me on the air?
Yeah. Bring it on, man.
Come on.
I don't know, Jackson. I agree with you. Let's block.
Yeah,
What's that?
I mean,
I agree.
It's a no-brainer. It's really
penalized.
It's really pulled,
-3
with my experience. You said I've been out there for a long time. With my experience, it's really pulled people away from it because they've had good sacks. They've been locked out and sat there for 2 to 3 hours. It's like, man, I ain't coming back to this place. I really killed it out here. Finally, I did well, and then this Bassmaster is just a jag off, and he doesn't get me through. I mean, this is our deal. It's not like it's we're rotating in different lakes and they have a lock system, and if you want to lock through, then that's your risk. This is what we do, man.
Yeah, that's the good weights. The good weights are on the other side of the lock.
There's no area over there on the other side of the lock system to launch from. Otherwise, we wouldn't even do a lock system.
Right. Absolutely. We'd get rid of it.
Let me interject for 1 second though, and just say that I've been fishing the Sag for a long time.
Interjecting.
I've been fishing the Sag for a long time, and you guys have seen me there for I don't know how long. And I fished it a lot before we started doing the 2 check-ins, and I've never been locked out ever.
That's right. And the average
I was always back at least 2 hours early.
Yeah, but
if you're back 2 hours early, you ain't getting locked out.
Lisa would laugh at you. Lisa Tambridge, that was just on here, would laugh at you guys for that. She would. I don't care. It's not Bassmaster.
We'll do a vote.
Yeah, whatever. You're gonna get
whatever. I don't care. I'm happy with the way it is, but I would be happier if it was one check.
I don't think it keeps it.
I mean, I think it's. I wouldn't care myself, but I think it's just set in place to draw more boats, and that's our.
I disagree with you. I think the real tournament competitors are going to be like,
and I think that's what brings it in is having 2 check-ins.
I do agree with Brian that most people like it that way
because it's convenient.
It is.
I'm not one of those people.
It's
I just don't care.
And I
hear
you. I'm just telling you, that's the only thing that seems janky about your rules. It's the only thing that seems janky to me about it.
Welcome to a Bass Club meeting, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
we're having one now. James Jackson almost fought.
Yeah, conversation for another time. For real.
Yeah, we almost fought.
Yeah.
Hey, Dennis, I'm glad you made it back to break up the fight. And Brian, I know you guys have both been working really hard on something pretty special. Can we talk anything about what you guys have been working on with Indiana tourism? I know we alluded to it before, but what's going on? Brian and Dennis, tell us in your words, what's going on?
Dennis.
So this started earlier this year, probably in the summer. The idea was brought, and we talked about it, I think in July on your show a little bit when Seth was on, about having a open tournament on Lake Michigan, Lake Calumet, Cal-Sag, all those. That's all open for this tournament. We've decided that we're going to have it August 3rd and 4th next year. It's going to be a team event. It's not going to be a singles event.
Okay.
We are, and it's going to be out of the Hammond Marina.
Nice. Good location.
Yeah. We're going to keep it at about 150 boat max. We've been told that they don't want a max. They want as many people as possible, but we don't feel that that's doable right now at this point, because this is our inaugural year, obviously. So we're just going to test the waters. And if we think that if we get 150 boats, if we think that there's more demand, then we can maybe open it up. If everything goes well, open it up the following year to more boats. But this is going to be in conjunction with the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority, which is the tourism bureau out of Lake County, Indiana. Hammond Marina and the Horseshoe Casino are kind of the main players here. and we're hoping to draw in some more sponsors. Again, a team event. The payouts we're not too sure about yet, but it's going to be hefty. It should be hefty. It's not going to be a $5,000 first place prize. It's going to be well north of that. 2-day event. And that's really about all I can say about it right now.
So it is a 2-day event.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jackson, give me a number. Give me a number that the prize might be. First place.
I mean, I'm thinking, what are we doing? A $400 entry fee? Is that what
$400 entry fee per team? And I also, this was a point brought up by one of our other committee guys, Rob Pointer. We are also going to have access to the slips at the Hammond Marina that are going to be open. Our anglers are going to be able to use those to keep their boats in those slips, so they don't have to trailer in and out. If they come and pre-fish during the week, they can leave their boats in the slip, in the water. They don't have to trailer in and out, take them to the hotels, whatever. The Hammond Marina is going to give us a good deal on daily slip rental fees, which right now they're like $30 a day. I think they're going to give us a better deal than that. And $30 a day is still cheap, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But they're going to cut us a deal on that. So we're hoping people utilize that. So it kind of eases up the traffic in the morning of launching boats in and out and everything like that. So yeah, $400 entry fee. If we get 150 boats, that's $60,000 already right there.
And I think with sponsorships, I think our goal is to be like a Sturgeon Bay where they're giving out a boat for first place. So, depending on the numbers that we get and the sponsors that we already have, I think that they're very generous. And who knows? Maybe first place could be $50,000. We don't know. But that is a possibility.
So look out. Come on.
We're gonna have. So all the events are going to be taking place at the Hammond Marina. The weigh-in. We're putting together a kids fishing derby, probably going to take place at the Hammond Marina. There's going to be food vendors. We're looking into getting a live band on Saturday night.
Yes. I'm jumping up there with them.
Yeah.
Food vendors, beer tents. The whole deal, like we had a festival, but we're having a bass derb, and it has been a lot of work. We've done a lot of meetings and communication with different organizations, and hopefully this takes off and it's successful, because it could be something that we do on an annual basis.
We need this. We really do
need it, man. It's deserving. Lake Michigan is, August is tough, but it's just a time where we get the community involved. And it's
good
just
party time.
Perfect time to do that kind of stuff.
Good party time on the lake.
It'll be at the Hammond Marina, and there's already.
But the lake's got them.
How many hundreds of boats are in the marina? So you're going to have all those people coming to hopefully look at the weigh-ins, support the vendors, whatever. It should be a good time. It's going to be hopefully a great event, bass fishing tournament that turns into a really nice family event.
Heck yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. And again, the area needs it. And thank you, all you guys on the committee. I know Ryan and Brian and Dennis and Marcolini and Pointer. All you guys have been working hard on stuff. And of course, the race god of the organization, Dave Figley.
Yep.
Granddaddy of them all. We need this deal. And thank you, Cal-Sag Bass Anglers, for allowing Stray Cast to be part of your organization. We enjoy being out. Yeah, we enjoy being out there at every event. And it's cool to be, like Ryan was saying, with your buds, because it's fun to razz. It's a different type of weigh-in environment. And I think that all of that good time energy will convey come August for your big event.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the people will see it. Build it and they shall come, Dennis Panic.
Yeah. Well, the barometer that we kind of go by, like to have 150 boats. And I'm not sure if Brian, you fished this, but back in like 2002 or so, when McLurch Bait and Tackle out of Hammond held the Big Lake Shootout.
Yeah.
It was like one of the big events, first big events. Smallmouth fishing was even that popular back in like 2002. It was getting there. And we drew like 100 boats locally.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So here we are 20 some years later. It's way more popular. I'd be shocked if we didn't draw 150 boats. I would be shocked.
Yeah.
But we just have to limit it at that because we don't know the capacity of what the Hammond Marina is going to be able to accommodate us. And just this is our first event doing this on this scale. So we just want to make sure we do it as well as we can. And if we think we can open it up to more, we will.
So, Dennis, real quick though, anybody listening tonight and is interested in this tournament, I mean, come in what January, end of January, early February. We're probably going to have this posted on the internet. What website are we going to be looking for this? How are we going to get information on this? Do you have that information yet?
Yeah, I'm going to be getting with Dave Figley. We're going to be putting together a website specifically for this event.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then, obviously a Facebook page for this event. We're going to be probably working on that soon after the holidays are over. And, like Brian said, I'm hoping to have it up and running where people can go and look and see what it's all about. Hopefully by end of January, early February, we'll have all
the best way right now, I'm assuming then, is to stay tuned to Cal-Sag Bass Angler website or where Facebook page.
Facebook page.
I think Instagram. Follow us and find out if you're interested and see when this is going to be posted and ready to go so you can join if we do have a cat.
Cal-Sag-Bass.com is the website now. Cal-Sag Bass is found on Facebook and Instagram. And of course, the word is spreading amongst the region that this is the event to fish.
Right.
Guys, Ryan, congratulations again on your victorious year. Eric, amazing job on the big lake. And Dunk, way to kick ass as usual. You know what I mean? And again, Dennis and Brian, thank you.
Thank you
for your contributions. Guys, we look forward to the next Stray Cast edition with Cal-Sag Bass. And there are other Cal-Sag Bassers out there. Win some derbs. Come on the show. Win some belts. You win a belt, come on the show and talk bassing. Yep. You know what I mean?
Hey, Pat.
Hey, Ryan.
Just wanted to give a shout out to JP, the Weighmaster, for he did a lot. He did a lot as well. And then Rob Pointer, I don't know if you mentioned
JP. Yeah. We all love JP.
Yeah,
and JP, JP knew that the bass scales were 5K a piece. Did you hear that, Brian?
But you didn't give me the brand.
It was
close.
It's
was
called
close.
Acme. Yes. That's amazing. 5K piece. They got 10 of them. They'll borrow you one. They'll make a call, bro. They'll borrow you a 5K scale.
I got the money for it though. That's the deal.
Yeah, but thank you, JP High, your cohort at tightropefishing.com too, for his amazing work as the Weighmaster.
Tightrope fishing.
Well, look at you. Look at you. Hey, guys, thanks again. All right. Well, while we got you, all right, hold on 1 second here. We're giving away the stray cat. Oh, you know what? We were kidding. We're not giving away the Stray Cast Extravaganza fun pouch bag tonight. It carries over to the Zona show next week, where there will be 2 fun pouch bags. So we continue to have time in the randomizer. Like and share the feed, and you can win next week.
The progressive pot.
It's a progressive Stray Cast fun pouch extravaganza Christmas bag. Yes. 2 weeks in a row. Guys, thanks again for coming on the show. You guys are all kick-ass anglers and derbers by heart.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
Dennis, Dunk, Brian, Eric, Ryan, peace.
Have a great Christmas.
We'll see you guys
Later.
All right.
Thanks again. There it is. Ray Scott's Dream and the local scene marathon episode. Yikes. Hey, same bass time, same bass channel. We'll be back next Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central, with the one and only Mr. Mark Zona. Bass Galaxy, I thank you for allowing us to sail on this thin raft of bass fishing and have such a dang good time doing it. This has been an Andrew Ellenberger, Ginger Ninja production. I'm Pat Renwick. I bid you peace. Peace, Bass Galaxy.